What's up, nerds? Welcome back to another episode of Kanode Knows, brought to you by Dig BMX. This week on the show, we got Matt Closson. He's dope. He rides for Fiend and Premium, and I've known him forever, which is super dope. And we've crossed paths, and this conversation is awesome. It made me realize how amazing of a human being he is. So he's deserving of everything that he's getting lately, and except for the knee injury, which we get into. He doesn't deserve that, but he's handling it like a champion. So yeah, go to RareLife.com, buy superfoods, and use promo code Kanode. Subscribe, like, share the show with a friend, all that shit. Let's get into it. Here's Matt Closson. Hey, dude, let's just talk.
Got it.
Okay, cool. Let's chop it up, Matt.
All right, cool.
Hi, Matt.
Yo, what's up, Bobby? Hey, long time no see, my dude.
We put the show on for the intro. It has been a minute. When's the last time I saw you? Street Fighter?
Oh, damn, yeah. And that's been a minute.
I've just been seeing you on the internet, so it feels like I've seen you. It feels like I see all my BMX homies all the time, you know?
I know. We message. I see you're killing it. You got a lot of cool things going on now in life.
Life is good. Yeah, life is good. And, you know, I'm out there. I'm getting clips with the helmet on. I'm finishing.
I seen you back on the bike, too.
Yeah.
Seen some nose manuals, seen it.
Dude, those are a bitch. You can get lost in the sauce on nose manuals. Like, was it 2 nights ago? I went out to film with Zach Beerley, and I was like, yeah, I can nose that pretty easily because I'm still in my 16-year-old head. And and then, you know, an hour later, I'm like, okay, I don't think I can do it right now, but it was worth a shot because you never know. You could get lucky.
That's something I've probably never said is I can nose that pretty easy.
But you have a couple of like heavy ass nose manuals in the videos that I just watched. Like,
yeah, I try to find good placements for them because I know I don't have the longest one. So it's like, all right, if this is the spot for it, then I'll just try to drop one right here and see how it goes.
So I think it was 2016 or one of the ones, you and a bunch of homies were along the freeway and you went up a bank, did a wall ride, and then nose manual to drop. And then everybody's going wild, and the cop comes up, and then the first thing out of his mouth is "Everybody against the wall." I want to know the rest. I want to know the rest of that clip. Anything happen?
Well, it's that one. So when I landed in the clip, I kind of like, it's such a big drop that I land and I kind of swerve and hit the wall again. Yeah. And I really didn't want to take that one. So I'm riding away bummed and like everybody's screaming, and it's kind of like I want to turn around and go again. And then I see the cop just pull up, and I just like kind of rode off, half disappointed, half like in my head already knowing, okay, this kind of makes the clip a little bit that the cop pulled up. And then I didn't think he was going to come so crazy. And he had everyone against the wall, cameras down. You can kind of hear me in the background. He says, "You over here." And I'm kind of like bummed in my voice, like, all right, I'm coming. Like, I got it, you know? And then, so we sat down, and I actually, the go before, I went over the front, jumped off. Damn. And I landed so hard that I kind of gave myself like a concussion in a way. I've never done it before. I didn't really hit my head, but the way I landed, it was like
full body concussion.
So we're sitting there with the cops, and I'm like almost having an out of body experience, sitting there like, oh fuck, like, oh man. And then cop leaves us. We ride back to my car, and I'm like about to throw up at my car, like, dude, I think I like somehow I have a concussion or something. Like, I don't feel right. And like Ryan Mills is there and all the homies, and they're like, "Are you sure you're good to drive?" And I was like, hold on, just give me a second. Let me chill for a while. I was good after a few, but it was just like the bail, I don't know how it shook my body weird or something, but yeah, I was like half concussed in a way. So that's wild. It was kind of weird. Yeah.
I can't say I've ever had a foot concussion. Like you landed on your feet and got a concussion.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was like maybe whiplash, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But yeah, it was the first time it's ever happened to me, only time. And even Ryan was like, he brings it up every once in a while. Remember when you bailed so hard you gave yourself a concussion?
That's funny as hell.
Yeah.
Speaking of injuries, you're on the injured list right now, huh?
Yeah. This is definitely the worst one I've had to deal with. So
what is it? Tell me about it.
So December, I was in San Diego. I pretty much go there, try to at least like once a month or so to go meet up with Garrett and Ennis. And it's just kind of like a continuous thing. Garrett's always filming. They're always doing stuff. And if I can get the days off of work, I'll do like a long weekend, head to San Diego and just go meet up and film and stuff. So we've been working on some stuff, and there's a spot in San Diego I've always known about, and I just like want to do this trick. Went to it the night before, like looked at it. The run up kind of sucked, but I was still like, all right, let's go tomorrow. I'll see if and it was like one of those things that we got there the next day and I wasn't really feeling it. And like, usually at this point in my life, I'm 33. At this point, I'm like, I better be 100 if I'm going to be sending some stuff.
Yeah.
And I usually have pretty calculated with the risk I'm taking. And this one, I feel like I kind of just like shoved a square peg in a round hole,
Yep.
like fucking forced it. The run up was a turn. I didn't have the right speed, but I did a couple run ups, did a couple warm ups. Was like, all right, I can manage this. I know what I got to do. And then bailed one time, ran back up, and ate shit. Kind of looped out at the bottom of a rail, and my left leg landed in grass and slipped out. So my right leg got stuck under me.
Oof.
And I tore my patellar tendon, ACL, meniscus, and IT band, like all in my right knee at one time.
You broke your knee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And knees are, it's one of those things that's like, we've all heard it. And in BMX, we all talk about it. Like, I almost like avoided the word ACL like my whole life just because I was so scared of it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's definitely been the roughest one. Like, I've broken bones, I've had months off the bike, but in all the years of my riding, it's been almost 6 months. This happened in December. So,
damn.
I got my first surgery, end of December on my patellar tendon. They had to sew that back together, which pretty much connected the bottom half of my leg to the top half.
Dude, that's
and then,
so crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, and I can laugh at it now because it's been a while. But fuck, man, it was rough for a while there.
I believe
pretty
it.
much paralyzed from the knee down.
Yeah,
had no feeling, like I couldn't even move my leg from the knee down.
It's just like dead weight.
That's dead weight, exactly. Crazy. Nothing connecting it, and then
did you get up and try and walk on it right when it happened, or were you just on your back like, no, it's fine?
I was laying in the grass, and Garrett is the man. Like, he's been around through so much, and like he knows how to stay calm and collected, and he's like got his phone ready. He's like, if you want me to call 911, we'll get you an ambulance right now. You just give me the okay and I'll hit dial, Yeah. And then I'm laying there, and like I think it was Hobie was there and Tammy, and like we had this solid crew. Yeah. And like they're like, bro, I'll back my truck up into the grass, we'll get you in there. Hobie shows up with a box. He's like, if you want, we can tape this around your leg as a splint for now and just kind of get you to the to the hospital. So I was like, all right, let's send it. So fucking tape my leg up in a box, put me in the SUV, and just go to the hospital. And we get to the emergency room, and there's a crackhead freaking out in there, spitting on the cops, like creating a whole scene. And my leg is like the size of like a melon. Like, my knee is huge, and I'm just like in the most agony ever. And this guy's just screaming in the emergency room, spitting on cops, like. So yeah, that was fun.
A moment you'll never forget. You said Tammy was there, and you took a truck. That's a tambulance. You took the tambulance there.
Yes, I've never taken the Wambulance, but I took the tambulance. So yeah, I mean, and continue with Garrett and Tony, Ennis being the man. Like, I was staying at Garrett's house, obviously, so did the hospital thing. They were able to do a CAT scan, X-rays, pretty much tell me I was screwed. I had to get home to get surgery. Next day, Garrett was like, whenever you're ready, just let me know and we'll drive your car home and we'll like go back to Vegas with you. So I like woke up, and I didn't think I was going to be ready for a while. I watched a movie and was kicking it. And then I just had a spur of like, I want to be home. Yeah. And I just like, yo, are you guys cool? Let's we go now. And he's like, fuck it, let's go. So Garrett just fucking, Tony Ennis drove my car. I rode in the passenger seat, just kicked back. Joe Riley rode with us. Sick. Like, it was just, and so luckily I had cool homies to help. But yeah, so first surgery was December, and then 3 months of physical therapy, building my muscle back up, getting my leg back moving. And then they went in and did the ACL and meniscus in March. So about 3 months now since ACL surgery. So
any more surgeries to come, or are you just rehab now?
No, just physical therapy. I go like 2 or 3 days a week. My goal is like by August, hopefully, to be riding again. So nice. They tell you like 6 to 9 months with ACL, and like the physical therapist and the surgeon are like, if you keep working the way you are and keep doing what you're doing, you could probably be good by 6 months. So
hell yeah. Are you doing shit outside of PT at home on your own?
Yeah, definitely. I pretty much every day. Like, I don't know. Like I said, this is the longest I've been off my bike, and it really made me like realize how much I love it. And it's like, fuck, man, I I watch videos and I just see someone dropping in, and the way they drop into a quarter pipe, I'm like, oh man, I know that feeling right there. And it's like, they just like pump over a little hip or something. And I'm like, I just want my hands to be doing that, like over, you know what I mean? Yep. So yeah. And I can't wait to get back. Like, I know it's a lot of mental stuff and everything, but with what I was trying, and like I said, I kind of forced something that wasn't really right for the spot. So I kind of know in my head when I get back to it, just don't do that again, and then I should be all right. Yeah. So
That's a tough one, dude. And being there with like Garrett and Tony, even though they're low key and they're chill, they're not trying to like force you to do anything. And you drove out there, so like the moment was like a little.
Yeah. Luckily, I've been, and it's crazy. Like I listened to Johnny on here, and I've obviously being in the position I'm in, like feel super grateful to be where I'm at, and like now that I've been homies with them for so long, like Garrett and Tony are some of my best friends. It's like I used to have that a little bit more, and now it's more like, oh, just do you. Like we have you on here because we like who you are, and it's like just do you.
That's so
Don't
sick,
feel
dude.
forced to do anything. And yeah, me and Tony have been filming a lot lately, and it's been amazing to get to do that. So
sick.
Yeah,
How long?
At my age and where I'm at in life, getting to be what I'm doing is like I'm super grateful.
Yeah, fucking A. I'm proud of you. Like it's crazy how long you've been shredding at this level, Like I'm going back to like 2012 trying to find like a mediocre clip of Matt Closson and it's nowhere to be found, Every clip in your edits is like just banger, 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 banger. It's wild.
So what year was that when you graduated ASU?
2012.
That was 2012. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember the party at your house and everything?
Yeah, I sure do. Vaguely. I was just telling a friend about it today. They were like, "Did you get the college experience?" I was like, "Kinda." I made the college experience at my house. It's fucking sick.
Yeah. And that's
so
like
fun,
the credits to mediocre, right?
Yeah.
Like a little,
So wild. And so you've been at this level for that long. I feel like you had all the tricks you have now back then, but now you're just like kind of matured and using different spots and selecting the shit. How did you get so good at bikes, first of all? Wait, before I ask you that, I want to know, let's talk about Tony and Garrett. How'd you meet them and how long? You said you've been homies with them for a while now. Like, how did how did this whole thing come up?
So I was riding for Deco, which was Chad DeGroot's company.
Yeah.
And it was cool. I think I want to say like 2016, something like that. There was a what was those called? The Monster Street Series. Yeah. And I think it was in LA. We were just cruising around the streets or whatever. I had met Garrett through being really good friends with Tammy, LaShawn, like our whole crew kicked it with them when they first moved to San Diego. Like I think in 2011, I want to say they all moved to San Diego somewhere around then. Yeah. And it was like the Deadline House. There was like the Sabrosa crew. San Diego was like insane at that time. The Market crew. It was like this insane place of all. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And so I was really good friends with Tammy and LaShawn, and then Tony Maloof, Jeff Westcott, David Grant. Like we kind of created this whole crew.
Yeah, holy shit.
So it was like this whole thing that we had. We were like our squad, they had their squad. We all just became homies, and then they kept doing their thing. Obviously, put out Deadline. Fiend blew up. Garrett continued to be who he is, and I was riding for Deco, just talking to Garrett, chatting it up. Like he was just kind of asking how things were going. It's casual talk, like not even anything, you know what I mean? And then that was like a July, I think probably 2016, and then October was Interbike, and it was like the last one in Vegas. And I'm just cruising with the Vegas homies, walking around, and Garrett, Ty, Bob, who's like part owner of Fiend, the whole squad just like comes up to me like, "Bro, what size frame you want? Like what you're on?" And I was like, "Whoa," like really kind of like confused. And no, for sure, like if you want to be on, like just let us know. And then Bob gave me his contact info, and then all just kind of went from there. It was just like a homie hookup, and I never thought it would become more than anything. I never expected anything, and then like just kept doing me. Started meeting up with them more and more, and then it was like I want to say 2020 when all that kind of happened. That was when like I really got kind of brought more into it and pushed up more into like where I'm at now with them. So it's pretty crazy to think.
Where are you at now with them? When you say that, what do you mean?
I mean, I don't really look like I don't have a signature stuff. Like I want to be considered on the pro team, but Garrett, he hooks me up every month. He pays me, takes care of me,
that's pro.
So you know what I mean? Like, and he's an official dude. Like he knows what he's doing, and the way he brought Johnny and Lewis up, like there's not many companies who have done proper stuff like that, make them put in the work as AMs, take care of them. A lot of people thought he might not have been, but he was making sure they were good, and continued repping. And I'm sure they had other offers from other companies to go pro right away, and they just stuck with it. And then now they're the dudes. Like they have their signature frames, and Lewis is winning X Games, and Johnny's on his way up. And like those, Garrett knows what he's doing with that. You know what I mean? And he picked them personally. He saw that, and he worked with them and molded them into like cool ass people that they are now,
So dope, dude. I love it.
Yeah. And being part of that and seeing it firsthand, and like never expecting anything like that. And now I'm best friends with those guys. And like, that's who I go ride with. And like, that's my crew. It's like, holy shit, is
this real life?
Sometimes I have to step back and actually appreciate it. And these last 5-6 months off the bike have definitely given me an appreciation, of like, this is what I love. And I'm going to give it my all for as much, I want to be part of this forever. Like BMX is the shit.
That's what's up. Dude, I'm thinking of that moment when they all walk up to you. The first thing they said, what size frame you want? It's like, all right.
I know. And, and like, that's, fuck. And I knew them all. We were homies, but still that's pressure. Like in a way, like, holy shit, you guys are like,
that shit gave you a concussion, dude.
Yeah. It was natural though. It was just so cool. And like, didn't even seem like it was just like, oh, these are my boys, and they accepted me, brought me right in. And like I said, since day one, it's never been like, you got to do this, or you got to post this, or do this, or make it just, they're like, they know I work full time. They're like, bro, whenever you come meet up. He lets me know what's going on. If they're going on trips, he's like, you can get days off, come link up, we'll get your flights, like all that kind of stuff, I love that. So now I get to be in videos.
Yeah. And the clips and the videos are no joke. It's pretty fire. It's so sick to see. And every time your clip comes up, I have a little sense of like, I know that guy pretty well. I've been knowing Matt Closson for years, man.
It's cool because I have like a pretty cool experience with you, seeing where you came from, like I seen you as just this like excited kid looking up to Maloof and Westcott and like, and there was, like a few dudes that were super influenced on you, and I could tell. And I was in Phoenix a lot during those times. We were filming Forever Rolling. And like, I got to see you get your VX, and like, I seen the spark, and it was cool to see like, all right, this dude's going to be involved for a long time. Like he's got the passion, like this dude's in it.
I figured out you can't really, you can, but I figured out that I wasn't making a living from it. And I was like, I'm still doing it,
And you started making videos and like helping the scene, and doing those kind of things. And like, it's something small, like a homie saying, hey, I want to make a DVD that'll just get everyone hyped. And now everyone's down to meet up when they're off work or like whenever they're free. And next thing you know, everyone's like got this little project, this little thing they're working on. And it's like, outside of your circle, it don't mean shit and no one cares. But for you guys, it's like, oh, we got this cool little thing, you know what I mean? And it's like,
oh, that's facts, dude. No one gives a shit. It's amazing.
Yeah, no one cares. And that's what everyone's busy.
For real.
So if you find something that you're into and it makes you excited, just fucking send it and keep going that way. Like,
it's so fun explaining to people who don't know about BMX, like, at all. Like, so what do you do? And I'm like, well, I ride bikes and try and do tricks like on spots. And they're like, what's a spot? And it's like, I don't know. You driving down the street, look around for like stairs and rails and stuff. They're like, huh, all right, cool, cool story.
I have, like, cause I work a pretty normal job, like, well, kind of normal. I'd say I help manage an off-road rental company in Vegas. So it's like, sick. I'm office manager. I do a lot of stuff in there. And so it is normal, but at the same time, it's not like a normal job. Like people are coming out to have fun. They're on vacation. They're going to do off-roading. Like, I get to facilitate fun at work all day. That's in a way. Dope. Same thing I would do with my homies riding. You know what I mean? It's like, try to make sure I get them hyped. Do
this and this.
Yeah.
It's going to be so sick. Yeah.
But with that, like I'm around I guess you would say like general public a lot more than the average BMXer, just because of I work 40, 50 hours a week and I have to manage these people and be a normal person at work, all day.
Yeah. And hello, sir. How are you?
Yeah, exactly. That. Hi, I'm Matt. Nice to meet you. But it's like, it's crazy when I, like you said, trying to explain, or like when I tell them I'm going somewhere, I'm like, yeah, I went to New York, and they're like, oh, did you go do this, or this? And I'm like, nah, like we pedaled from Manhattan over the bridge to Brooklyn, went over to Queens, like caught the subway back. Like, I don't know.
That sounds exhausting.
But for us, it's like the coolest thing ever. Pedaling through New York City is one of the best experiences ever. And it's like, so just those kind of things of like trying to explain to the average person of, well, I mean, like I said, maybe it's not meant to be, and we can try our best to get people hyped on it and show them. And, if they ain't into it, fuck it. We'll just keep going and doing us.
They're like, oh yeah, I love mountain biking. And it's like, no, it's like picture a little kid's bike. And like, aren't you a little old for that? Aren't you a little tall for that? Yeah.
A lot of them at work will be like, when are you getting in, motocross, or when are you getting a motor?
Yeah, dude. It's the struggle of being in your 30s riding BMX still.
But I love it.
Honestly, I feel younger now than I did when I was like 28. Have you ever gone through a fat phase?
I mean, I was at one point like 15 pounds heavier than I wanted to be. But that was probably the biggest wake up sign I had.
Nice. Caught it early.
Yeah. Like, I think just like you said, I feel better now, late 20s through 33 than I did in my early 20s.
Nice.
A lot of factors being included, diet, mental health, like being in a better place, just a lot of things like that add up. You don't think about it when you're young, but it's like now that I'm older, I take better care of myself. My home life is much more stable.
Yep.
Like a lot of things like that, I can focus more on riding, and then I feel better. And those kind of things all matter. Whereas when I was younger, I was like, fuck it, Del Taco's got 2 for 1 fucking bean burritos. I'm gonna go get a 40 and we're gonna party and then we'll go ride tomorrow.
That is a 21-year-old dude.
Yeah. And it was, now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make a nice meal, like stay hydrated, stretch, so a lot different. But
it's real. I mean, I would like almost give advice to 21-year-olds to do the hydration and eating well thing, but at the same time, it's like you can kind of get away with it when you're that like young.
Yeah,
until you can't do it anymore.
Take advantage of that for sure.
Dude, I was driving back from California the other day or last week. Whatever. Something about road trips makes me feel like fuck it. And so I drove through Del Taco on my way out of town and got 2 tacos and some French fries, French fries is like the worst food possible that you could eat. And then as I'm getting closer to Phoenix, I'm like, fuck it. And I go drive through Taco Bell. And
your body was just like,
dude, the next day, my whole back was tight. And I had been drinking in California. Like,
oh yeah,
I was
drive to sitting in the car. Yeah.
So I had to do the old man regimen. I went and got a IV hydration. I went and did like sauna, cold plunge. I'm chugging water the whole time. I'm like, just fucking feel better, dude. Like, I just want to feel.
If you would have like when you were 20 something, somebody would have told you that, you've been like, yeah, right, dude. I can eat whatever.
For real, like, it's wild.
Yeah. What are you, a little softy? You can't eat Taco Bell?
What are you, soft? What are you, pussy, dude?
Yeah. And kind of what I was talking about earlier with you, it's cool to see. And I feel like there's a couple guys that were like in your same age range, like yourself and like Sauce, a couple other guys that I could tell were super influenced by my generation, like the Trip stuff, like Miles, Ty, Tony, Maloof, Westcott. And like I could see like the influence, even with like the Common Crew, like that generation of like your guys' age range and a little younger was like, to me, was the most like they had seen Deadline, they seen all these examples of what to do right, and like took it to the next level. And all those guys started turning pro really young, started like doing the right, kind of showed a path. Whereas before, the videos we were watching growing up was like party, fucking jump off shit, go crazy. And I loved it. That's what I grew up watching, and that's what I wanted to do. And that's what got me into BMX, was the core fun aspect of it.
Yep.
And then once like the videos started coming out in like 2010 later, and like I was like, oh, the people that were young watching that, like Sauce, you, like I was saying, like that age range, you guys were killing it with the cameras right away. And it was like super cool to see that you guys had this like whole drive of like, I'm going to make cool videos, we're going to use cool music, like get the crew together. And it was like, I think Deadline had a big influence, and like the Trip, like that whole era of street riding created a cool generation.
It was, for me, it was like, how old do you think I am, by the way?
28, 29?
Thank you very much. I'm turning 33 tomorrow. It's my birthday tomorrow. Yeah, we're the same generation, dog.
So when you were graduating college?
Sauce is below me.
So when you were graduating college, I should have been graduating college.
Yeah, you freaking loser, dude.
Damn it.
But Maloof and Westcott were such a huge influence on me. You're not wrong about that. And I consider myself close with Sauce. He's infinitely old with his wisdom.
He's the man, dude.
But I remember a specific moment because Maloof had that house, which was like 5 minutes away from my parents' house, and it was like the Gully, Arizona,
like west side of Phoenix, right?
Yeah, and I still remember a specific moment that I walked in to hang out with them, and they were both just like facing each other at the table with their laptops, like capturing footage or editing footage and reviewing stuff. And I was just like, had that like, oh, that's what I want to do. And then, so from there, like, and then filming wise, like Maloof, Deadline, then Happy Medium. Like I just I wanted to get good at filming. Anything I would try to do, I like obsessively try and get good at, So filming became my thing. Now it's like, I kind of don't care that much with the BMX stuff, but I still care a lot about like fisheye and Fran. I think my standards are just like up here, when the VX that I'm stuck filming with, it's fucking
Yeah, I mean, we all changed. Like I used to love the crunchy raw, like, but now I love a nice tight film, long angle that's just like perfect, shows a spot, nice lead in.
Tony's pretty spot on with that shit too, so that's gotta
yeah,
feel good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like getting to film with him is pretty surreal, honestly. And I've been through up and down stages with filming. Like I came up, like just filming with the homies, like a little camera. Watching videos. Like I grew up watching the fit videos. Mike Aiken was like who I wanted to be. Like that was my hero.
Yes.
And then watching the fit videos, it was like, oh, look at Edwin and Homan. Like I'm watching Homan do these big tail whips, gap to rails, and I'm like, damn, that's cool too. So I want to do turn downs and jump shit and be stylish, but I also want to go tail whip and hit rails, like, so.
Yep.
And then watching that, I just started, like, I just got a camera, got a little laptop, started learning how to edit and filming my homies. And this was during like MySpace days. And so I had no outlet, and we just started putting videos on our MySpace pages. And like, that was how I got noticed, kind of. Sick. Kyle Carlson hit me up like, hey, do you want to quit making stuff for MySpace and actually have like a reason to film some stuff? And I was like,
that's very
sure. What's wrong with MySpace? Like, I didn't even know really. I was like, I don't know. I'm making videos. I learned myself. So
nothing's wrong with MySpace, dog.
Yeah, it was.
That's so Kyle Carlson. Like he's fucking blunt. Go on.
Yeah, Kyle helped out a lot in my younger days, and he helped me out with Vital. I kind of had some dudes from there film with me, and then I had known Tammy from growing up in San Diego and just contacted back through social media. He started coming to stay with me a lot in Vegas. I would go with him in San Diego. And, filming with like Tammy and LaShawn, Maloof, those guys are like really particular about like filming, and they know how they want it to look, even in those days, like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
This is longer than 10 years ago. Shit.
For real.
They were like super on it. And so here I'm at, like, I gotta almost fake it. Like, yeah, I fucking know what I'm doing too. Like, and so I had to make them feel comfortable when they handed me the camera, because I knew they were going to do crazy stuff. So I'm like, all right,
of course. Yeah, I got
this. Yeah. Color's good. Shit looks good. All right. Like, and then quickly learned, like, I feel like if you show me the right way one time, like I'll try to remember it, And so I started quickly learning through those guys, and it put like a pretty high standard right away for me of like, this is how it should look. This is what you should be doing. Like, don't do this. Like, certain things that you wouldn't really know until you film with somebody like that,
But then once you kind of take it for granted. Like I had a buddy take a portrait of me the other day, and he had my head like this low in the frame, and I was just like, dude, what is this? What is it? I didn't say anything, but I should have said something. I thought about it.
Yeah, but growing up around all the dudes we grew up around, you're like, oh, he's got it.
Yeah, for real.
You feel comfortable handing the camera over to them.
And like with fisheye, for example, like there's little things that you don't want to do, like just point it directly at whoever's doing the thing the whole time. You want to have them
little
come
ins
through
and
the frames.
outs and things that I was lucky to be around the guys I was, and then like I moved to Vegas. There's a little squad out there, no real filmers or anything. So then I got my own VX 1000, started being that guy, like trying to get everyone together, like started making stuff and trying to like create a little scene and do videos, and then bring that standard that I learned from those guys and keep it going, you know what I mean? And start teaching all the other dudes. And then that all kind of led into me getting put on Fiend. And then it's like, okay, now I'm with these guys. So yeah. And now it's been, I think, since 2016. And
damn, that's 7 years of Fiend.
I know, it's pretty crazy. Time flies, dude. Like COVID, like you said it before, I think like COVID was nuts. Like, it was like a before and after almost, you know?
Okay, wake up,
Yeah, it's like BC and before COVID and after COVID.
Yeah.
So
did they show on like local news your local bar areas completely ghost towned? Did that happen to you guys too? Because that happened to us in Phoenix.
Honestly, I don't know if this will ever happen again. So we took advantage of it. The strip was shut down for like a month straight. So every casino was boarded up. There was 0 people on the whole Las Vegas Strip. And we found this one parking lot, and we would all just drive down there, park, and just ride the strip empty and just cruise. Dope. It was like a ghost town.
Finally, you can ride the spots.
Yeah, and it was, dude, it was like, what's that movie? I Am Legend or whatever?
Yeah.
Will Smith. That's what it felt like. Like, we're just riding through these big ass casinos and 0 people around, and the security guards would pop up and be like, oh, what are you guys doing here? Like, oh, we're pedaling around. Yeah. Like, okay, cool. Just don't stop here. Just keep going, And we're like, all right. So like I have pictures of wall riding the boarded up doors of Caesar's Palace and stuff. And like,
that's dope.
Yeah. 2020, and all the downs there was. Like I had some injuries that year. Obviously, the world was crazy. There's a lot of weird stuff that year, but like when I look back, I'm like, I had a pretty good year. Like I took advantage of every way I could. You know what I mean?
Yep. So 100%. What about outside of BMX for you, like 2020 wise? What'd you take advantage of or do?
There was like, I mean, since I worked so much, like getting 2 months of unemployment and like paid, like I was getting paid by the government, taking advantage of that. Why not? Like everyone is. And so I filmed that video part in those 2 months. I had no work, and I was like, schools are shut down, buildings are shut down. I was like, I'm going to take advantage. The weather's nice in Vegas right now. Yep. So I just went out every single day those 2 months. So we went out every day and just filmed, and I ended up putting that video part together. The Dig 2020
the Dig
part.
One, yeah.
Through that time was, So I just took advantage of it. I was like, shit, I'm going to get paid, and there's nothing else. Everything shut down. Like we were going into every single high school in Vegas. Like I would pick one and we would just get in. Nothing in there, go find another one. And like I was just pinning everything I could that year.
Exploring. Mm-hmm. There's still, dude, I've lived here for 22 years. There's still high schools that I haven't been to that I'm like, all right, maybe we'll check that one.
Check it. Yeah.
You can't stomp Clay Johnson though, dude.
Is he spot god or what?
Yeah, I don't think about it that much, but yeah, he's like, I've been here for fucking ever.
Yeah, he probably does know. He's like, if you send a picture, he just content to tell you what school.
He's like, yeah, I've been there. Yeah. I'm like, I'm so excited. I found this new like Cuddy thing. And he's like, yeah, that's right off of Indian School on 32nd Street. I'm like, God damn it. I can't stop it, dude. Sorry to interrupt you though.
No. And I mean, speaking of Clay, like shit, getting to work on Forever Rolling with those guys was like cool.
Yeah.
Being
the
asked to be part of that,
What was your highlight from those days or filming for that?
Probably our Albuquerque trip. It was like, I think 6 or 7 of us, and we stayed in a Motel 6, one room for a week.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And like when I look back now, I'm like, dude, how did we do that? But at the time it was so fun. Like the room next to us was a pimp staying all week. He had girls working in and out.
Wow.
Like the owner or the guy managing it was like, you guys want to stay here for a week? We're like, yep. He's like, all right, like, sure. And like the spots in Albuquerque. Have you ever been?
Oh yeah. Sabrosa and Albuquerque. Yeah.
People, like I was just on a good one that trip, and like I filmed a bunch of stuff, got the last clip for my part there. Like, so just a lot of cool stuff from that trip. And I felt like that one was like our first, like outside of San Diego, Phoenix, Vegas, like that was like our first like team thing that we did, to film for the video. So it was cool. Super cool.
Especially the DIY aspect of it. I guess it's like kind of half and half DIY, but it's all like LaShawn and Tammy, their gumption of like, all right, let's fucking do this. They got the backing of Blunted, but it's like
that was still them DIY.
Making shit happen.
I think the aspect that made it almost seem not DIY was they took it so serious, and they did have such a high standard that it was like, we don't give a shit who's backing us. We're going to make this look professional because we care about this.
Yeah, 100%.
And so
which is
it was cool.
It's good to be around. Yeah.
And I was lucky to be a part of that and like put my all into that. Like I was so broke in those days. Like I used to stay at my sister's house in Temecula, and I would like take Greyhound buses to Phoenix like once a month.
Wow.
Like just fucking, I probably took like 10 Greyhound trips filming for that video. Just we'd go back, and it's like such a shitty trip to Phoenix on a Greyhound from San Diego area. It's like, oh my God. But yeah, I didn't have much money at those times. Like I was just trying to figure it out, wanted to ride all the time, and lucky, like I had homies that were down to let me stay on the couches and, kind of figured stuff out,
That's super dope. Yeah, how much is a Greyhound? $75?
Shit. No, those days it was like $25, dude. One way.
Out of here. I remember because I did the same thing, but not for BMX. I did it for an ex-girlfriend in LA. And I would be broke and still take the Greyhound out to LA. So I know that Greyhound stories, dude.
Yeah. I had a dude one time hop in the seat next to me in Riverside, and he's like, I could tell he just got out of prison, and I'm talking to him. He's like looking at my phone and looking at the cars and shit. And he's like, I just got out 35 years. I was like, oh,
like today?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was cool, but same time, I'm like, damn, all right, this is pretty crazy.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to 2012. We got iPhones.
Seriously, yeah.
That's wild. I had my shit stolen off the Greyhound. I went to LA, but I had my all of my BMX footage on this hard drive. I had my work computer. I think I was working for Sabrosa at the time. And then on my way back, they always stopped in Blythe, and I needed to take a shit. And they usually stop for like 15, 20 minutes. I had done it a couple times. And I was like, so I left my bag on the bus. Biggest mistake ever.
In the seat or whatever.
Yeah, in the seat. I was like, I'll be back in 5 minutes. It's fine. And the bus isn't going to fucking leave me. Then I sprint because I'm like worried about the bag. I sprint to this other restaurant, not the gas station that they were stopping at to take a shit. I'm like hustling it up. I'm back in 4 minutes, and then the bus is gone. Like they didn't even get everybody off the bus. They tried to open the door. It was like temporarily closed there. The gas station was on like a smoke
so he
break
just
or something.
Kept pushing.
Yeah. So they were like, all right, everybody here? Good. Okay. And everybody must have been like, yeah. And then good. And then I'm stuck in Blythe, like I think damn near overnight. I can't remember how I got back, but I'm calling my sister, go to the Greyhound station, see if you can find this bag, blah, blah, blah. Cause it's like timeless shit, it's all, but luckily tapes saved my ass. I just went through and recaptured it.
Yeah.
Whew, I lost a T3i, I lost a laptop, I lost hard drives, and it's bugs. So somebody
scored.
Oh yeah, somebody.
Yeah.
Like, swoop. Yeah. Don't mind if I do. Yeah.
Right, and they're on a Greyhound, so they ain't doing the best. So that was like a huge come up for them. They're like, yes.
So somewhere out there, there's a laptop with a bunch of cool BMX tricks on it. At a pawn shop near you.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably at a pawn shop.
100%.
Yeah.
I am curious about I don't think I've ever asked you about your beginnings. Like, how did you start riding? How'd you get into bikes? Have you always been in Vegas?
No. So I grew up in San Diego, like East County, El Cajon. It's like when I was growing up, at least late 90s, early 2000s, it was like motocross, BMX, skate, like everything was huge there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I grew up like fucking rocket power kid. Like I just did everything.
Power kid.
And when I was 7, I had an older sister, and she was like 18. She had a boyfriend that raced BMX, and he was like really good at racing BMX. And I was just like a little shithead 7-year-old doing nothing. And he's like, hey, you want to come to the BMX track with me? And so like no training wheels ever or anything. He just put me on this BMX bike, and I started pedaling around like in the parking lot. Just started cruising. Never rode up until that day or anything, I guess, like just from what I was told. Sick. Yeah. And then so like, then they got me a little BMX race bike, I guess, like a GT or something. And then I just started going to the track with him all the time. Nice. So this like random 18-year-old who was my older sister's boyfriend would just come swoop me up, because my mom was single mom, like doing her best and shit. So he would just come swoop me up and then take me to the racetrack with him. And then my mom started taking me all the time. And then that was just like 7 through, my mom would take me 3 times a week, got sponsored, started like going to nationals. And then that was like my life, like 7, met Nick Long, whose dad, Donovan, started Phantom Racing. And then Nick Long is like huge in racing still, and, Olympic team, all that. And so Dennis also rode for Phantom Racing.
Nice.
Dennis was like one of my very first friends ever. Like this kid.
Get the fuck out. That's
swear to God, him and his older brother Kenny was my age, and they would come stay at my house when we were like 7 years old, and then I'd go stay at Dennis's house. And so like we were like, that was like one of my first friends, that my mom would let me go stay at his house. And like Dennis says the same thing. Like his mom Darcy is always talking to me on Instagram, and like he's like, yeah, you were like the first. I had to like beg my mom to go stay at your house, and like. So it's cool that like we have that backstory. Yeah. Like I used to go to his house. He had a little, where that huge ramp is now, Dennis had this little like mini BMX race hybrid jump track thing. It was like you'd start on the hill, you'd come down, there's a berm, some dirt jumps, and like a whole little thing. And like my mom used to bring me over there. She'd hang out with Dennis's mom and just let us ride. And like that was like my childhood.
It's a hell of a fucking upbringing for BMX, dude. Like,
dude, I know.
I knew you raced. I knew it. And I see how good you are. I'm like, I know he's a racer, dude.
And just like almost like the story goes, like I quit when I was like 13. I was expert. I was sponsored. We had a national, and like did the national, and was just like, I don't know why. I just told my mom, I was like, I'm over this. I don't want to do it no more. And she's like, what? Like, you've been doing this your whole life. Like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know. I just want to be a kid, I guess. I don't know. And then so 13, typical, like started doing shit, like hanging out, smoking weed, like skating, dirt biking, kind of like left my bike like to the wayside for a while. And then like 14, 15, we were hanging out at some dirt jumps, and somebody's like, yo, Matt, you used to race. You could probably jump these. And so I just grabbed this kid's bike and was just like, boom, over the biggest jumps, first go, like just started ripping. Then I was like, oh yeah, this is okay. So then I just started bringing my BMX race bike to the trails and just started jumping on my race bike. And everyone's like,
Nice.
bro, you're going to die on that thing. Like it's going to break. And so
Yeah.
then I, started, then that was like the lead in probably 14. I started like riding freestyle BMX, like super heavy. Like this is what I want to do. And through high school, I moved to Vegas when I was 16. So like, I would go to Claremont Skate Park, like ride with all those dudes when I was 14, 15, like, and this is in the early 2000s, like Gary's killing it, Steve Woodward, Dirt Bros were going crazy. Like
Yep.
Dennis was just coming up. Like it was a pretty crazy thing. And then I moved to Vegas and it was like, I was 16, didn't know anybody, just going to the skate park. And Nate Berkheimer, I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
Yes.
Used to race BMX, rode for Diamondback. He saw me at Desert Breeze Skate Park and he was like, dude, you're really good. Do you ever rode dirt jumps? And I was like, yeah, I love dirt jumps. And he's like, you want to come ride TJ Lavin's house? And I was like, really? Because I knew he lived there. Obviously, I'm a little BMX grom. Like I definitely knew TJ was from Vegas. And I'm like, I like had my mom drive me by his yard before just to look at the jumps,
Nice.
And so he's like, yeah, just have your mom bring you over. We'll have you sign like a waiver and everything. And like, yeah. And so then I'm like 16 years old on the rolling at TJ's house with like Cam White and like TJ Lavin and all these dudes. And I'm only like, and then next thing I know, I'm going there like 2 or 3 days a week riding TJ Lavin's house with these guys.
Sick.
So
That's
it was
unreal.
such like it was so random and just how it happened. And then Nate was like, dude, you're killing it. I filmed this like Vital BMX video. And then he's like, you want to ride for Diamondback? And I didn't have any other offers.
You were on Diamondback.
Yeah.
God.
So I had nothing going on at the time. I was like, fuck it, let's do it. And then it ended up being super cool. Like,
Yeah. No shame in Diamondback, dude. My first sponsor
people
was
can
GT,
say
dude.
what they
Let's
want,
go.
about corporate stuff. And I'm sure there's been bad deals and like even the way it all ended kind of sucked. But while it was happening, like our team manager, Mike Hammond, I still talk to him on Instagram today. Like he was super cool, down to earth. Like it never felt once like it was a corporate thing. Like it was Diogo Canina, Darren Reed, myself. Like, it was just this cool squad. And so like I got to go to Seattle all the time when I was 21, like just fucking getting to do this thing with Diamondback. Went to Brazil, Taiwan, like went and did all this cool stuff.
Fuck yes, that's incredible.
Yeah, and that was like really like, okay, this is BMX. Like this is what it means to be like on a team. And so that was kind of my intro to all that stuff. And
that's rad.
Yeah. So that was a big help. And that was all through just Nate seeing me at Desert Breeze Skate Park, and
that's unreal.
Like, hey, you want to ride TJ Lavin's house? And so then they just all led into that,
What was your impression of TJ Lavin when you hung out?
Dude, he's the coolest dude. He's so like raw and like his humor is just so like, he's no filters. Like it's hilarious. Yeah. He's one of those dudes you're around him and you're just like, damn, like, okay, okay. But you laugh and even the dude getting made fun of is going to laugh. Cause it's like, there's no, I don't know. He's awesome. He taught me like, all right. He gave me like, I could tell like he had a cool head and like, I could tell he'd been through a lot and like he'd had a different perspective of life than a lot of people I'd met because he had been through so much, you know what I mean? So it was cool to like get to be around somebody of that caliber, I guess you could say, when I was so young.
You're learning life from like life rather than being in, a school studying the shit. It's dope.
And so I mean with school, I just pretty much did the basics. I like showed up, made sure I passed the test and just got my degree. Like just got a high school degree and said, I'm good. Like that was school was like, I just couldn't wait to get out to go ride. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then once I was in my junior year and I'm riding TJ Lavin's house, of course I wanted to get the hell out of school. I'm like, like my mom's about to drop me off at TJ Lavin's house after this. So yeah, that was super cool and definitely a big learning experience and a cool point in my life for sure. So
tell me you named some pretty dope spots. What was Brazil like? What was where else did you say? Taiwan?
I went to Taiwan and I went to Costa Rica, and this one is like kind of sad with everything that's happened recently, with Pat, of course, rest in peace, Pat. Like I went to Fees 2012 and like, I shouldn't even have been on that trip. Like I had no business being on a Fees contest trip. It was like Drew Bazanson, Pat, Tyler Finagle, like
killers.
Yeah. Like these dudes, Kevin Peraza, like, and all these dudes, I think Pat was like 17 and Tyler was like 15. And it was like, they were these new dudes coming up and I got to spend this like 4 or 5 days at this resort in Costa Rica with all these guys. And like, it was just cool, like to be a part of that and like have that memory. Like I found some pictures, Catfish was there announcing, and like we went to this restaurant and Catfish was randomly on the beach, chilling. And like we just walked up on Catfish on a beach in Costa Rica and like,
Catfish
and it's
spotting.
like crazy memories like that I'm super thankful for BMX has given me like these opportunities, and like these
For
times.
real, yeah. So, I mean, tell me about Pat. Were you close with him? I never met him.
I mean, obviously not as close as a lot of guys, but I met him like he was probably 12 or 13 at Claremont Skate Park at one of the contests back in the day. It was probably like my first pro contest, like maybe 2007, something like that, maybe a little later. He came and he was like doing all these crazy tricks, double whips over the box, like all this stuff as a young kid.
Yeah.
And like everyone knew he was going to be something. And then shortly after he got put on volume, all those things started happening, Vans, you know what I mean? And then it was like,
did he have the scene haircut at the Claremont thing? I was
honestly,
looking at the old edit of him.
Before that. Yeah, I think it was before that. Like his dad was there. And then there was a Warriors of Wood contest that, I don't know if you ever remember those. Nyquist used to do them in San Jose. It was like these crazy wood rhythms on this like running track. Sick. They were like dirt jumps, but they were wood and they were super steep and gnarly and like it was pretty crazy.
Of wood. That's
yeah. And Pat Casey, I think won. I want to say he won. He was doing these like crazy nosedive, double tail whip 360s, and like I want to say he won. Like, and that was maybe 2011, 2010, something like that.
Oh, Vital BMX is not a thing anymore. I just clicked on Vital BMX link.
So, yeah, I mean, I got to see him younger. And then I lived in Temecula when he got his house in Riverside like 10 years ago. And I got to see, the ramp he built. And I was really good friends with all the Riverside guys at that time. And so we would go kick it at Pat's house and ride and like pretty much seen him turn into a grown man, get married, have his kids, and then like turn into what he became. And it was, one of those crazy things of like, he was that very small percent that does make it,
right. Yeah.
He's that guy. Like he has the wife and kids and the house and the ramp and like, that's the dream, like he did it. Yeah. And he was always humble, super cool, like never seemed forced, and then like, as everyone has said, like that dude was the toughest dude ever. Like all of us watched, like send it, just no one was making him do that shit. Like he didn't have to do that for the contest. That dude was just doing it for like pure love. Like, boom, get up, go again. Like, and that's the kind of mentality I try to have when I ride. Like, you're going to eat shit a bunch of times trying this shit, but you're going to get up and you're going to keep trying it. And I'm probably going to have to be carried away or something's going to happen, and seeing him was always inspiring. And like, and then at Waffle Cup last year, they did like the best trick. And like, I'm not a contest dude by any means whatsoever. And like, went out there and I actually got second best trick. So
what'd you do? I forget.
There was like the little lifeguard thing in the middle, and I did a backlash over the top of it.
Yeah, you did. I remember that.
And Pat did a cash roll over it, dude, and it was so nuts.
That's wild.
And I've never been on a podium at no pro contest before, and like, of course, the one time he's up there too because he was always on the podiums, Yeah. And so that was a cool I found some pictures, and I was like, man, that was like just cool to see like the smiles and like know that vibe, like and that I got to share that. And I know everyone's gonna take care of his name and like carry it on, and it's gonna be a long road, and I'm sure it's like not gonna be easy anytime soon for a lot of people, but like there's a lot of people out there that are willing to help, and and that's one of the cool things about BMX is like we grow this community of like people all over the world that are just down to help. Like doesn't matter what reason, if they barely know you, never even met you, you did one trick they liked, they're, you know what I mean? And next thing you know, you need something and they'll all help. So
shit is tragic.
Pretty cool.
It's like waking up to that news. It's like, it's just, heard all around the world. Like, Pat
it's hard, man.
It's not even real.
Yeah, it doesn't seem real. And it's, for me, it was one of those things of like, fuck, nobody's invincible, like he was the man. And that's why the hardest thing for me to take is like, he seemed invincible to me. He seemed like a superhero, like he seemed like any crash or anything that would happen, Pat would be cool. Like he'd got it, And so for that to happen, it's like, well, shit, none of us are safe. It's like, fuck.
For real.
It's just, so it's just, that's been the hardest part, and knowing what his family's going through and, being here with my girl and like talking about it with her and, just knowing, that can't be easy. So, I just want them to know too, if the BMX community is always going to be there to help, you know what I mean? And I'm sure forever it'll be something that there'll be, his name is going to live on, and he's,
Yep.
His name is implemented in BMX forever. Like he's part of us, you know.
For real.
He was BMX. Like he lived, breathed BMX.
It's
so
fuck, man, it's sad.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's hard to talk about for sure. And,
yeah.
You know, but fuck, he deserves, you know, his name to be talked about, and he, you know, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Definitely a good dude.
Rest in peace, Pat Casey, dude.
Shit, yeah, man, you know? For sure. Like, yep. It's cool seeing the tags out there. And
for real, on the skate park, like the Gary clip, the
any little thing like matters, you know, all that shit.
Yeah. We should start tagging up Phoenix.
Man.
Everybody who's listening, go tag up something, Pat Casey. Yeah. Where do you go from there? Are you gonna have a family?
I mean, it's been talked about, definitely, you know.
Yeah.
About to be 34 in a few months.
Discussions are happening. How long have you been with her?
We have lived together.
How's your relationship?
Yeah, we've lived together almost 9 years. So like, we're pretty much, we're like, we should be married, but luckily she's cool. She don't care about no titles like that. She's never once pressured me. Like, I found a really cool person that not only accepts like the BMX lifestyle and traveling and hurting myself all the time and like doing all these things, but like also never pressuring me in like other aspects of life too. So if you can find somebody like that, fucking keep her.
Yeah,
try not to fuck her. Try not to mess that up, because it definitely helps. And that was one of the things I was talking about earlier with like just life, you know, like being happier at home and having a more stable home life and things like that allow you to ride better, focus more on that, and you know, take care of yourself. So
tell me about your last fight with her, dude. I'm just kidding. You were about to answer, fool. I love it. Oh shit! I got my girl visiting in town right now, and she's here for my birthday weekends because it's tomorrow. And I was like, "Sorry, babe, I'm podcasting, I'm working, I'm doing shit." You know, she's off with her friends right now.
That's cool.
But yeah, kids, dude. Kids is I
give props to any person who can manage life, you know, with that and kids and everything, because that's not easy. You know,
Clay and Robbie.
Yes, they're
and LaShawn now.
I know, Papa LaShawn is coming.
We're gonna see how LaShawn, if he's still biking, dude.
I know. There's a lot of guys right now.
So happy.
Nathan, Dak.
Yeah, dude.
A lot of people are. It's that age, dude. We're all starting to realize, like, all right, we're in our 30s now.
Yeah, I guess we better procreate.
Yeah.
Slip one past the goalie.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So everybody be on the lookout for a baby coming from Matt Closson pretty soon here.
No. Oh, man.
Dude, a young Closson, just another rocket power kid.
Yeah, I know. He would be nuts.
Man, I'm jealous that you're like, well, you're the place that you that you go to film is San Diego. San Diego's so beautiful. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, and especially during the summer in Vegas sucks.
Yeah.
Summer in Arizona sucks. San Diego.
And then the other aspect is like, I get to go stay with Garrett, who's like, no one has ever put in as much work as finding spots as him. So and then I have Tony to film, and Garrett's like really good at what he does and knowing how we all ride and what we like. And so like, he'll always have something to show us. And like, San Diego, as blown out as it is, like that dude will still have something I've never seen to show me. Like,
I love that.
Yo, there's this little spot I found driving through this business complex. Like, I think you might like it, you know? And so that's right. Like, he makes things. I think Johnny kind of brought it up, like the behind the scenes that he does to help with Fiend to make what it is like, it's that work you don't see. You know what I mean? Like that really does help. And it's
goat work.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to see. It's very inspiring to be a friend with that guy and like see all the shit that goes into it. And like outside of BMX, like I feel like he helped change the way I work, like dictate my life, like manage myself, you know, like
hell yeah.
Just seeing somebody
just by example, like
and just being around him, you know, and like seeing the way the way he takes care of himself, the way he approaches things, and he's very like confident in his approach on things and knows what he wants and is like doesn't waver much, you know. And it's like, okay, like a lot of people should probably learn from that. Like we're always trying to appease people and stuff, and it's like maybe just if you have experience in what you're doing and you have a goal and a vision, you should probably just fucking be steadfast in what you're doing. You know what I mean?
For real, yeah.
So, and like learning that is just like cool. Like this dude is my age, a year younger. He's got his own business. He's got a home. He's doing all these things and he's still riding at a professional level, the best. And, you know, so that's like super inspiring. And like through being around him, like I said, even outside of BMX, it's like helped the way I've kind of navigated
positive
things,
influence.
You know?
That's so dope.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's so I'm getting secondhand stoked on life trying to do that shit right now through you, through him, you know?
Yeah. And then I get to go on trip with Johnny, Lewis, you know, Colin.
The best fucking guys too. Like, even off the bike, they're so dope to hang out with.
Yeah. And like, you know, obviously it's like first few times you hang out with people, like we were homies and stuff, but it's like, what, you know, kind of Johnny's quiet over there. Like I'm just me, like not part of the tight inner circle, you know? And then like now though, it's like, we're in a fucking van. We're all just like, just the whole time shit talking, like Lewis is playing some crazy ass upbeat music. We're hyping in the van, jumping around, like going to a spot, like Garrett's fucking driving. Guys like this shit? Get the bikes out. No? All right, on to the next spot. Like, you know, and then once the bikes come out, it's like fucking
gang
like
time.
Yeah, it's like, all right, we still have fun with it. Like it never seems pressured. It just seems natural. But like the standard is like, all right, we're gonna do some shit.
Yep.
You know,
that's what's up.
No one's going half-ass. Like we're all in this together, and it makes me do shit that like I probably would have done, maybe, I don't know, but
like the manual down that 20-stair rail. How much shit do you have stacked with Tony? Do you know? Have you seen your timeline? What's his process? Is he showing you timelines?
We get to see it, yeah, but
nice.
Never see a thing with a song or anytime. You know, I don't, at least. Maybe, I'm sure Garrett gets to sit down with them and see a lot, but it's like Garrett and his like method is pretty much a stack. Like Garrett just is always riding. He rides more than anybody else. He's always riding. He's always perfecting and learning tricks and like trying to figure out shit. Once he figures something out, it seems like he finds a perfect spot for it. Waits till he finds a perfect spot. Like he won't force it. He has all these tricks in mind. So it's like, oh, this one will work for this one, you know, or like those kind of things.
He's got his tool belt full of shit that he
for sure.
Just put on. I wish I could do that noise, dude.
Yeah, he hits that move. And then, so with that, it's like, okay, well, these guys are all fucking killing this. I'm going to sit back because I know I don't have anything like this for this spot.
Right.
So I just sit back and I just lurk and like wait. And I'm like, I get antsy, you know, because I'm like, all right. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to go jump off this shit. I'm going to go do this. You know? And it's like, I'm going to go do this. And then luckily it usually works out. And like, all right, cool. All
right, let's go.
And then I sit down again and watch them all go crazy on the ledges and stuff. And then, you know, it works. And it's like
their tech riding is like God level. It's kind of insane.
And you're
very like, technical, but like, you know.
But when you're sitting at a spot with Colin, Johnny, Garrett,
dude,
like
I can't even.
It's laughable, dude. Like seriously, you'll sit there like you are right now and just laugh. Like you'll just shake your head and laugh out of amazement, pure bliss that you get to be there watching it. You know, like it's just like, dude, this is awesome. This is
you're just watching a video game in real life. Like that's kind of, it becomes almost like surreal. Like I started to get detached because I was filming Matt Ray too much, and just watching him ride in person is like watching a robot. Like AI, just everything is super dialed and every try, and even just like big ass bangers. I'm sure it is the same with those dudes. Like, all right.
So, and speaking of that, filming with Matt, those were two cool ass videos you made. I want to say that.
Matt Ray.
And then, the Sabrosa Vegas video.
Yeah,
we got to spend some time doing that one because you were, you know, out here. And that one is like, I still will go back and watch that one. And it's like, there's editing stuff in there that people don't do now. You know what I mean? Like it's all black and white for Sabrosa. We got the sky blue and a lot of stuff. And like,
I kept trying to push color on Sabrosa too.
Yeah. And it's like, it's really cool though. It's like, it was cool to see. And that was one of the aspects I was talking about of like, all right, this dude took some innovation, threw his own little thing on it, and now this is what we have. You know what I mean? So
thanks, man.
Yeah, it was definitely
appreciate
it. That video came out really good, and seeing that kind of stuff was cool.
That was like, I think one of the first. I got to play around with film in HD with those cameras for a little bit, but then like that was the first like, all right, okay, let's go, and then it all kind of worked out. I felt like I filmed like shit every single clip, but looking back, I'm like, this is up to par.
Yeah, it was cool.
You know? Up to snuff.
Did your thing.
Yeah, not too shabby. That was the trip that they all started calling me Sasquatch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I was big and I was starting to get a little bit chunky.
I
And
remember what did the LaShawn eat? Like Bobby Bobblehead. That was like Westcott and like the Bobby
yeah, dude.
Bobblehead.
Bobby Bubblehead, man. Shit, that brings back memories, man. It's wild. When I can't, I'm trying to remember like when the Vegas trip was. It's 2015 or
Probably
14.
2014. I think that was
Yeah.
the year I moved to Vegas. So
Wild. Sheesh. Uh, yeah, that was fun. Go watch Sabroso in Vegas. I think my favorite part is Simone. Just filming Simone is fucking incredible. And
yeah,
man,
oh
I love
god,
them. I love them all. I love
yeah,
all the Sabroso boys equally. But
man, and that was like Simone like was killing it. There was nobody even close to that at that
like
time.
for real, like ahead of his time.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is pre all of his other videos that changed. Like it's kind of crazy to think how much Simone just like went like this, and then everybody's like, "Hold on, that's dope," and then they start doing his shit too.
Everyone picked pieces from it for sure.
Yeah.
You could tell.
His little
Even the established dudes were like, "Yeah, that's tight.
so
I'm gonna start doing some of that
for real." Yeah. Who's your influence lately? Like, who are you getting motivated by right now? You got a lot of time off the bike. A lot of time off the bike. What are you doing?
I would say Nathan.
Yep.
Just like he's been in it just as long as I have longer. Been a pro like way longer, you know, like putting out video parts, and he still is putting his whole body, soul, like everything into it. And when he puts out a video part, it's like top, you know, it's gonna be. So like him, Dakota, Garrett, you know, pretty, and it's like, I mean, it's almost cliche, like everyone can say those guys, but when you watch what they're doing and stuff, it's like there's a reason they're where they're at, you know, and it's
100%.
And
for like 20 years, damn near, like all of them,
and like they're my age, and so it's like it's super motivating to see. And like I think BMX is in a cool spot right now, where when we were coming up, a dude was 25 and he was like out. You know, it was like, bro, you're 25, you're peace, you're fucking broke everything, you're out. Like 16-year-olds are coming in, dude. And now there's not really any, like, the guys who are over 30 are like all the top dudes. You look at X Games, it's like everyone's over 30 right now. I don't see the door yet. Like, I'm seeing all these people at the skate parks. It's like an older crowd of dudes who either quit and now have a job and bought a bike and got back into it, or like just stayed with it and just now feel like it's more accepting and welcome. For like just the average dude to have it as a hobby and not try to be like a pro. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so I think it's at this point now where like it's good for BMX, because those are the people who will buy stuff. Like those are guys with jobs and with money, and they'll buy parts. And like if they like something, they'll go buy it. Yep. And if it's only 16-year-olds who are riding BMX, like they're going to just keep asking for free stuff and like want discounts, you know, things like that, which, not hating on them. I was broke at 16 too, you know, and my mom was broke. She couldn't buy me shit. So it was like, you know, you got to hustle and try to do what you can. But I think we're at this point now where we've like allowed BMX to be accepted by an older crowd. You don't have to be pro. You don't have to be the best guy ever. You can just be a homie, kick it. Yeah. You do a trick that makes you happy. We're just as hyped for you. And like the Vegas scene is like really built around that. And I can see it like spreading out a lot. Like,
fuck yeah.
Just grown ass dudes buying stuff at skate, you know, buying bikes and like going out. Whereas like they would quit and go buy mountain bikes, or like, you know, go buy car stuff. And it's like, I want to see dudes in their 30s weekender BMXers. Like, yes, for real. So it gives me motivation to stick with it. You know, like if they only see 20-year-old dudes doing them, they're going to be hyped on them. Like when you're in your 30s, you don't give a shit what a 20-year-old kid is doing.
Yeah, for real.
You know? So when you see grown ass dudes doing it and you're like, oh, this is cool for grown-ups to do. You know, like then you're like, all right, I'm going to go buy a bike again. I loved this growing up. Now I can go hang out. They're not going to be dicks to me at the skate park. They're going to be accepting, like help me out if I need help, you know? And I think we've come to a point where it's like, I think it's going to grow BMX. You know what I mean? Yep. I think for a long time 100%. We were targeting the young audience. Like, how do we get these kids involved? How do we get these kids involved? And it's like, no, like this is a lifestyle. Like we're going to be doing this for a long time. And I want people to do it because like they appreciate the lifestyle, and like, not just because they want something out of it, you know? And and I think skateboarding does a really good job of that, you know, keeping people involved, giving them jobs, like keeping the scene what it is. And like, I think we're rounding a curve now in BMX where it's like, all right, the right people are being judges at contests. They're getting the right jobs. Like we're bringing in like I think it's going to, and I mean, I could be wrong, but I think I see positive in the near future of BMX. Like,
hell yeah. That's
So
refreshing
what I
to
see, at
hear
least.
because
Yeah.
you don't hear that often. That's great.
Yeah. And then with Johnny, like what he was saying about the video game shit, like I'm all about that.
Yeah,
like,
that was good.
Because when I look back at my childhood, I didn't even really skate that much, and I knew all the skaters because of Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Like it introduced me to a lot of cool music.
Yep.
Like just a lot of stuff, and you can't ride all the time. Like you got to have downtime, and I think that's a way to get people involved for sure. Like making it cool and accepting in a different, way. So.
Dude, and then thinking about just like the future of video games and shit. I was just thinking
VR
about like, what can this BMX game be all about?
Yeah,
the pipe one is still. I see clips of it, and I'm like, that looks pretty fun. Like it looks pretty fun.
Yeah, I suck at it. Like I try. Funny story: when we were doing the Vegas trip here, we were filming for Dark Days here in Vegas, and we were staying at my house, and we were playing pipe and stuff. And Johnny's like, "I never played that." 5 minutes later, he's like the best anybody's ever seen at this video game. And it's just like such a thing with Johnny. Like that dude is whatever he picks up, he'll be the best at it within like 5 minutes. Like the kendama thing.
Genius. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the kendama thing. He just grabbed it. Oh, what does this do? Oh, did I break it? Like he's just doing all this cool stuff.
Oh, did I break it? And he's doing flippity dippities and shit.
Yeah, so then it's like, holy shit. Same with the video game. I never played this. Whoa, look at that. That was cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, I love that kid.
It seems like he's coming out of his little shell a bit, and I'm stoked to see it. Like, he was pretty quiet and reserved as a young kid, but now he's like Johnny, and he's like,
he's got his own little thing going. It's super cool to see.
Yeah.
And the other thing I like to see is he's like, not afraid to promote what his hobbies are outside of riding. Like, I think for a long time, pros were kind of scared to say what they were into in a way of like, it might ruin their image. Like if a dude was into fitness or whatever it be outside of BMX, I think a lot of people didn't really put that out there.
Yeah, but they're like lame.
Yeah, exactly. I was guilty of it. Yeah, I thought BMX was the coolest shit in the world, and I was like, "You do that? Like, woo! Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like." But now, like with him, he's like super into MMA and like taking care of himself and fitness, and like he's promoting that, and he's also going about things in a way of like not so corny as like UFC fighters calling out other fighters and like, "I'm gonna knock you out first round." But he's like out there, like tagging X Games, like, bro, I'm ready. Like, I'm like, let's get it. Like, and it's in a cool way of like, and I've never really seen any other young pro. Yeah. Come on, baby.
Johnny,
like,
baby. Yeah. So sick.
And so it's cool to see like him go from the quiet kid, not saying anything in the van.
So he'll kick your fucking ass now.
Yes. Oh yeah. We wrestle I always wrestle with him, and he's fucking pins me every time.
Of course. Every time,
but I still go for it. I still have to try.
He's on the jujitsu mats like, how do you do this? And then 5 minutes later, just like,
yes, exactly. He's got you twisted up like a pretzel. Like, did I do it right? Yeah.
Am I doing it right?
Yeah. And like, so it's cool to see him not only come into his own, but like not be afraid to promote like this kind of new way of like, I'm a pro BMXer. Like, I'm going to put my all into this. Not afraid. Like, who cares if people call him a try-hard? Because he's naturally just wanting to do it. Yeah. It doesn't seem corny or cheesy. It doesn't seem like a try-hard.
Right. Because he owns it. It's just positive. It's positivity, and it's like, this is me.
And then the outcome is, it is what it is. You can't deny it. So it's
100%.
All right, well, that works.
He's fucking incredible, man. What a human being. Garrett picks him. He knows how to pick him.
Dude, that's what I was saying. That man knows he's pretty good.
What's your MMA or your outside of BMX thing, if you know what I mean?
I mean, I wish I had more time. Like, since I have like a full-time job, I work 40, 50 hours a week. Like, I focus on BMX, and then like just pretty much like home life and like making sure like I put enough time towards like my girl, dog life to where when I do want to do the BMX shit, it doesn't seem like it's hindering like our life or, you know what I mean? Time management skills is like something I learned, and I think pretty much just appreciating the downtime and like doing cool shit. Like, we went to San Diego in between my 2 surgeries, and I couldn't ride or anything, obviously. So just like, I knew I had another surgery in a week. So I was like, let's just go to San Diego for a few days. We just cruised the beach, like did some little touristy stuff, kicked it, like, just check shit out. And
I don't know why I'm picturing you not being able to walk, but you're able to walk right now, right?
Yeah, I'm back. No crutches, no anything.
So like when you just went to San Diego, you're walking around.
Right. But then
Okay.
I got a second surgery and I was back not walking for a while.
Yeah, that's gotta suck.
Yeah, it sucked. It sucked. Surgery, brace for like 2 months, got it off for a couple weeks, second surgery, back in
How
the
long?
brace,
How long are you
crutches.
off your ass or on crutches?
I was for like 2 months, like
Shit.
of all like
Yeah,
over the
combined
time.
over the time.
Yeah.
A
Like
lot of time.
a month at the first time. And then, yeah, probably 2-3 weeks after the ACL surgery and then
Yeah.
started walking with the brace. But yeah, like I said, longest time off the bike, just trying to do what I can to, keep myself busy. And, I
Yeah, you were
like,
talking about mental health. How did you manage? How are you managing?
um, one, keeping myself busy, like just like putting my focus into work and getting myself back to where I want to be. A lot of times you hear like when people fuck their knees up, like they're never the same, like, and
Right.
I don't want to be that. Like I've been able to avoid knee injuries all these years of riding. I finally fucked my knee up, did everything all at once. And it's like at 33, you hear a lot of people like pro athletes or just whatever would be like, oh, he destroyed his knee. He's done at 33,
Yeah.
like he's old. But it's like, all right, I got a few more good years in me. I'm going to just like, I've been focusing on physical therapy, just my health, like everything I can to stay on track to be better than where I was. Like that's my goal is
Hell yeah.
like,
Come back better.
yeah. And
Build
I
back
know it's
better.
not, yeah, it's not easy, and it's a lot of work. And like, I've never been a gym guy. Like I've never,
Are you a gym guy now?
no, but I
Let's
feel like
go.
now physical therapy 2 or 3 days a week is like the gym,
That's pretty gym, yeah.
Yeah.
You should
And
be a
like
gym guy after this if you want
2 days
to
at
build back better.
home. I've always been like not always, I should say like 5 years ago, I started really focusing on stretching, taking care of my body,
Yep.
I never did that before. And so like me and my girl will be watching Netflix or whatever. Instead of sitting on the couch, I'd bust out
Yes.
the foam roller, the mat, and stretch for an hour and a half, and
yeah.
like push ups, sit ups, always just those, like home workouts, keep myself fit. Never took, I just always thought it was weird to go into a building. Like I've never been able to cross that line, like it's one of those things. And now I've been at the physical therapy office for almost 6 months,
Going into
2
a
days a
building,
week.
good.
And now it feels natural,
Yep.
So it is one of those things of like, it's so hard to just take that first step, of like, I'm going to, like,
honestly,
to me,
if
I
you have
see
the
myself,
discipline to do it at home by yourself, like that's the cheat code. That's where it's at.
I just feel like I would walk into this building and I would just like, okay. Like I show up at a skate park and it's like, okay, there's that. I can do that. I could do
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But it's like I walk into the gym and I'm like, I don't even know where to start, like,
For real.
so it is one of those things. Maybe we'll see.
It's intimidating.
Like I hang out with Colin a lot. He's on Premium and Fiend, and he's like really big on health and stretching, taking care of himself. He's a gym guy, so seeing
Love
that
gym
is
guys. Love the gym guys. I thought Brad Sims would be a gym guy, but he's not. He's just a fucking. When I was talking to him, I was like, "How do you stay in shape?" He's like, "Honestly, it's kind of genetics, but I do push-ups and shit." And I'm like, "All right."
Yeah, he stays active though. I think that's somebody like that. You stay active. You're adrenaline. You're always moving. You're pumping. Your body just
he's fucking built, dude.
Ripping. Yeah.
Speaking of people to be happy for, like Brad Sims, fun. Like I've been watching him. I know you've been watching him since Shook It's On. Like it's
crazy,
it's
huh?
so cool to see him come and then bring Colin and DeMarcus with it. It's so dope.
Yeah. What was crazy and cool to see was that whole like Instagram run he did. Like no one used social media, I think, to their benefit as well as he did. Like he created this plan in his head. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But he just tried it. He's like, I'm going to post crazy shit every day and just do it for a while, see what happens. Maybe my life will change because of this. Maybe it won't.
Yeah.
And
it worked.
Yeah.
Fucking A. But it wasn't just that. Like he proactively was reaching out to people and making shit happen, which is so dope.
He did it right. And, it's hard to stay at that level. Obviously, it's like when you create a standard, that's your standard. It's hard to put out a half-ass clip now because, you did that.
Only bangers.
But it created these open, doors for him that like a new life, in a way of, like work sucks, dude. And it's like any way that you can find to create a living that you enjoy is like a big factor in having a happy life. So it's how you going to hate on anybody who found a way to pursue something that like
for real
is making him a living and he's able to like bring other people into this. And who knows how many people fucking never even cared about mountain bikes, see Brad Sims and they're like, oh damn, that's cool, I'm gonna get a mountain bike, like you never know. And so I would never hate on anybody doing what they thought was the move and it worked for them. And like, they are obviously happy and it's not hurting anybody else, so.
Yep. I've been telling all the boys, I'm like, you're fucking up filming a DVD with me, dude. You should be posting your bangers on Instagram. Like, honestly,
I've been telling everyone, stop filming for Instagram. Let's film this video, guys.
No, videos are over, dude.
No, that's what
Unless
I keep hearing.
Fiend.
No, we have a cool little thing going with the Vegas squad, though. We have, I got like a song's worth on the timeline, probably another half a song's worth that trying to put together this cool little mixtape in my downtime. I got the cameras and I'm mobile. So I'm just like, you guys want to ride?
Now. Let's go.
Like, let's get it, So Ryan Mills, Sammy Combs, he's like a younger homie. He's starting to come up.
Yeah.
Justin Stapleton. He's like one of the homies I ride with a lot. He's like kind of grew up riding with him, and then he kind of got out of it for a while. Now he's back killing it. Just cool. Like, bring the cameras out, tell all the homies like, hey, let's like just film. And there's no reason for it. It's just something that we all want to do. We're all grown ass men. Like,
yeah, for real.
But it's just like, okay, cool. We could do this.
Let's go. What are you filming with?
I have a HMC 150 or whatever. I'm still 720p. Going for the Ennis look.
What about fisheye?
T3i, I think it is, or whatever. I got an old ass. Canon.
Nice, dude. That's my Vegas suppressor in Vegas setup. Is HMC and a T3i with a.
Yeah, I'm kind of classic. I like it. I want the classic. 4K, like the 4K Panasonic, like pretty much the 4K HMC, but
the Vish.
Yeah, that's a good camera.
Yeah.
Easy to film with. The zoom is a lot like the VX, stuff like that. So
I can't wait to finish this video and get to HD filming BMX. Like, honestly, I'll just be filming on my phone. I'm a great iPhone. Like, you could.
I went from like I was saying earlier, like loving the crunchy raw VX style. Now I love when I see like a crystal clear 4K clip. Like, it's pretty cool. Like, you feel like you're there. It's like,
you see their pores.
Yes, you could see it all. You could like feel
hair
it
on your shirt.
Yep, you're like, damn. Yep, okay. You can see his hands gripping. You're like, yep, he's coming in hot. He's gonna do something.
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy to see. So,
what are you most proud of in your whole riding career, trick wise, specific like trick? And what was your banger in the blended video?
I did like it was like a kink drill, and I did a 180 grind to like cab over the bottom kink, like the bottom half. Yeah. And it was just like one of those things that was just like the whole night, like everyone was getting stuff. I never drink and ride, like never. And I had already filmed like 4 or 5 clips that day. I was done chilling. We had the lights out and everyone was going in. So then I'm just like, got my bike out of the van. I'm a 180 grind this rail. And Sean's like, what?
Ooh.
Like, it sounds like, yeah. He's like, you sure you've had a few beers, bro? Like, you want? I'm like, I'm doing it right now. And sure enough, took me a few goes, but yeah, like 180 grind, cabbed over the bottom, landed perfect.
And then a hug from Robbie, dude.
Oh, everyone freaks out, dude, because it was so like unexpected, kind of like.
They didn't know you were cabbing?
No, it was just like, all right. And then I cabbed over perfect. I knew I wanted to because I didn't want to go down that second kink, but I was like, I didn't tell anybody. I was like, I'm gonna want to grind the rail. And so then everyone runs up, hugs, fucking shotgun a beer, like the whole deal. Yeah, it was
perfect. Cool. Ends of video. That's it.
Yeah. So that one, there's like a 3 over ice in my part. That is probably like I worked for that one. Like, I know no one had ever filmed it on a street rail at that point, so I was doing him at the skate park. Dan Lacey was my inspiration behind that, obviously. Like, seeing him do it at Simple Session and another one. And then I was like, all right, 3 over ice. Like, I love 3 and over rails. Like, I seen him do it. It makes sense in my head. So got it down on this little skate park rail. And then I couldn't find any rails in Vegas to try it on. Like, I was trying to find stuff. Like, nothing would work for it. And then there was a rail at the Excalibur Hotel. And it's like at the hotel where they take their breaks. So like, it's a super bust. You get no time really. So like, getting towards the end of the deadline for filming for the video, I hadn't done it yet. And I was like, fuck, like I can't get Tammy back out here. Can't get LaShawn back out here. Like, I'm just going to have a homie film it. So I got Keaton Harris, who I've known for a long time, and just brought the VX and a camera on a tripod. And we went there one day after I had to work. So I like got off of work, met him at the Excalibur. We had like an hour before sunset, you know what I mean? So like go up, security kicks us out, circle the building on our bikes, come back. There's like two dudes smoking a cig at the top, come back around, and then like, okay, it's clear. Get up there, set the cameras up, try it. I kept like 3-ing over the rail and like just landing both tires heavy because the way I was doing it, I was trying to scope out the rail and I was like tucked up and I fucking landed and blew both my pedals off the first day. Like fifth try, both of the plastic pedals just shot off the spindle. And I was like, damn. So then I was like, all right, let's come back tomorrow. So work again, go back to work again the next day, fucking charge the cameras and stuff at work, go back to the Excalibur after work. And then we got lucky. This dude was like smoking a joint and he was like, you don't say anything, I won't say anything. So I'm like, cool, can you just give me like this little area right up here for the stairs? Like, can you just go like right over here? And then we were there for like maybe 10, 15 minutes and like kept circling, doing the three. And then like the one go, I fucking hit my peg, dude. I 3'd over it, watched it, and I just shot that thing down, hit it. And like, you can even see my face. Like I just opened my mouth like, oh shit. So then like we just rushed, grabbed the cameras, like haul ass out of there. And yeah, that was the last clip I filmed for my part. Like, worked 2 days in a row, 2 days going back to it. Like it was, so that one probably of everything. Yeah.
Of everything, what about the latest shit with Fiend?
Honestly, almost every clip in that one is like, I'm really hyped on. So yeah, there's,
I'm so excited, dude.
I don't even know what the goal is. Like, I know Garrett obviously has a full part's worth of stuff. Johnny, Colin probably has a lot of shit. So who knows? Like, I don't even know.
Who knows?
I love it. I'm just like, I know I can't film no shit. And like, they're so cool too. Like Tony, Garrett, they're just like, bro, don't feel any pressure to rush to get back on the bike. Like everything you filmed is fucking amazing. We have enough. Like,
hell yeah.
Just take your time. And
that's what's up.
Never have I felt like they were like trying to get rid of me off the team or anything. You know what I mean? Like, nothing.
Shit, he's injured. Let's get him out of here.
Yeah, exactly. He's old. He's injured. He's fucking.
Who's next?
Throw him in the trash. But
man, if anybody deserves it, it's you, dude. I'm so happy to see you on Fiend. Like,
I appreciate that, dude.
From knowing you for however long you've been killing it since I was a wee lad and you were a wee lad. It's fucking dope, dude.
Likewise. I like seeing where you're at in life. Yeah. It's cool to see BMX or not. Like, I love to see the homies doing something cool with their life, and and even with my job, I manage an off-road place, and I think a lot of the skills when I got hired there, it was through graphic design and marketing, which I never went to school for. I just learned through BMX.
That's what's up.
Making videos,
so many skills.
Learn photo. Yeah, like I learned all this through BMX, how to manage myself, how to market myself, how to make stuff on Photoshop for videos, all these things that I learned without school and just self-taught, self-motivated, I never even thought would lead into helping me with this other aspect. And
way more than a kid with a marketing degree,
Yeah.
Fucking
and
wild.
even past that, like the average person.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like coming into a job, like we've learned so many life skills through BMX. And like the thing I always come back to when I like get frustrated with people at work or like, why can't they just figure this out? Like we have a different mindset. Like we are down to fail 100 times. That doesn't like deter us. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh fuck, I don't want to try this because I'm scared to fail. Like, fuck it, you'll be good. Just try again. And you don't even get hurt, like failing in real life. Like, and like,
failing in real life is
you don't
great.
Even get hurt. Yeah, it's like so much easier. You're like, dude, this is easy. This is fucking. I don't get a shinner. I don't gotta like. This is one aspect. It's mental. Like, so dude. It's not. It's and I didn't even realize while it was happening. It just created this thing of like I became this person of like self-motivated, self-driven, not afraid of adversity or like new tasks or like. A lot of stuff you learn and it teaches you a lot. And I think it's one of those things that like being active, being fit, like we found this really cool hobby that it's all encompassed into one, you know?
For real.
And it's pretty rare, I think.
It's pretty special too. And just, having the BMX like career, whatever you want to call it, behind me whenever I'm like out in the world and doing shit, we're special, us BMXers, we're special is what I'm saying.
Dude, you look at anyone who moves on to another career, like they're like the best. Like any dude who does something else outside of BMX, Like they're not like a normal dude. Like they're like the
Yeah.
top of their
Joe Simon.
yeah, or like
Who
a dude.
else?
I forget who it is who does the wood tables. I think it's wow, Jay Miron. I think he does
Oh
like
yeah,
woodwork,
fucking
and
it.
it's like
Yep.
crazy woodwork. Like
Yep. Top of the line
and I
shit.
think
Yeah.
it's one of those things that just perseverance, determination, not being afraid to fail.
Yep.
And then no
If you
coach.
learn, you kind of make it in one industry, you see, what it takes in the next one, and you kind of have the right, like, I don't know. What I found interesting was like not fanboying out. Oh shit.
Oh
Did it freeze?
shit.
Pause.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I fixed the camera. It's my
cool.
birthday. It's my birthday tomorrow. I took a shot. We started talking about half cabs.
We're up.
We're up, dude. We're back, baby. Half cabs. What's your biggest
I
one?
like I
Double
mean the one
setting?
that's like the stands out, I guess, would be the one I did at Swamp Fest. I like they had that coffin thing and I 180'd up onto the
Oh
coffin
yeah. Holy
and
shit.
then yeah.
I didn't even consider that. I'm thinking about stair sets and shit.
Yeah. I've done
That's a
some
big boy.
yeah, I've done that. There's one in Tucson. It's like a long 3 block. It's kind of well
Yeah.
known, has that rail
Yep.
down it.
The
That was probably the
lengthy
big
half cab is like
yeah,
crazier
that
than the
one's
tall half
long.
cab.
I had to go
Yeah.
as fast as I could and just 180 and then
And
just
then just yeet.
and I think I even broke my pedal when I landed on that one. I
Yep.
think my pedal broke and
I
my
saw the
foot just
foot go
like
off.
didn't
Yeah.
it just kind of bounced off and I was like, fuck it, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, for
So,
real. No, taking it, bitch.
yeah.
Contest rules. It didn't touch the
I
ground.
think the one at Swamp Fest though, definitely the craziest half cab I've ever done.
Tell me
It
about
was
it.
oh man.
I wish
It
I
was
could have been there.
dude, Swamp Fest was so cool. First of all, that is
Yep.
cool that Trey does that. Shout out.
Shout out
Like
Trey.
he was a big inspiration behind the organized crime jam I did last year, which I'm going to
Hell
try
yeah.
to do again. We could talk about that.
Yes, please.
So Swamp Fest, he does like all the setups, got the trails, you got everything. And then I guess they were doing like a best trick, you could say, on the coffin. Everyone was going nuts. Like everyone's grinding the sides, doing this, doing that, nose manuals across the top. Like people were jumping over the whole thing. And like Reed Stark, that's my boy. Shout out to Reed. He's like, if there's a hype level that needs to be brought, like that's the dude.
Yeah,
He's
100%.
Mr. Hype.
Yeah, he really is, dude. He's not.
Yeah,
It's just
so
natural. Sorry,
we're
go
like up on the
on.
storage container, which is the Roland, and I'm like still in my head, don't even know if I want to send the 180, and I'm just like, he's like, fuck it, I think he feeble three'd it, and he's like, go right behind me, and I was like, all right, fuck it. So he goes, lands it perfect. So I'm like coming down the Roland and see him landing it perfect, and I'm like,
Oh
well, I guess I
shit!
have to. I told him I was going to. Fucking, and in the clip, you could even tell, like when I 180'd on, I almost landed on the coping. Like I was like inches from the side. And I
Damn.
just remember kind of like looking over and just like, fuck it, half cab. And I went perfectly into the dirt. And I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
all right, well, that one worked. And then they burned it all down. And that was that
And
was
that's
cool.
Swamp Fest. Tell me about
Yeah.
organized crime. That's dope.
So last year was the first one, I hope, of many. It was just came from like, I like to throw jams just to get the Vegas scene hyped and try to get people out here.
Yep.
And seeing what Trey does and like how big that is and how much people appreciate it, I was like, all right, well, he's doing it like, with pallets and stuff to the extreme, but it doesn't need to be that crazy. And then I've always liked the idea of like a best trick jam. So I got the idea to like get Fiend if they were down, Premium, and just like kind of have them help with the materials. And I did as cheap as possible. Like I just created these drawings of like, did the math of like, okay, I'll need this many pallets to build this setup. We could do this, like, and then so I just reached out to both of them with these ideas, bounced ideas from, Tony and Garrett and Joey Cobbs over at Premium. They were super down from day one. So then that just gave me more motivation to be like, all right. And I'd never really designed shit like that. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna go back, literally like measuring pallets to see like if I put them this way, it's 2x3x4 tall, and like had everything mapped out to where like I need this much plywood, this much, these pallets, like gave them the designs. They were cool with it. The homies came, helped me build it all in my garage. And we just built all the ramps at my house and brought them down to the parking lot and like built everything. And they gave me money to give away for best trick and just promoted it. And then like next thing I know, Our BMX came out, Fudger, like all the pros from San Diego like came, like Dennis, Garrett, Chad. Like I literally had X Games lineup at my little
real.
jam in the
So
parking
rad.
lot, dude. And like I didn't realize, and like a lot of them were like, bro, it's because you're the homie. Like you're a boy. Of course, I'm going to come to your jam, and it was like a cool, humbling experience to know like, damn, if I put something on, like these people will come and like,
Yep.
And the younger dudes that were there, like the locals, like everyone just had like one of the best days ever, they said. So it was like, it would turn from something that I was like, all right, I just want to help the locals out, maybe give some money away. And then it turned into like literally like all the best pros being there. And
So rad.
it was cool. It was like,
So
I
special.
had so much
Yeah.
fun. I didn't even ride
It
really.
looks so
like,
fun. I had so much fun watching the recap video, and I was like, "This is so sick."
And then like,
while you're telling the story, I was like, "I don't know what I've never. How do I not know about this organized crime jam?" And then I remember like it clicked as soon as I forget what you said. That clicked.
The
I
video
was
was
like,
cool.
"Oh yeah,
like,
yeah, that was amazing." Yeah,
yeah. Luckily, Ben Snowden showed up with like a DJ setup, so I had a mic. And, like I've never announced anything, but I had so much fun, dude. It was
From what
so
I remember
much
in the
fun.
video, you killed it announcing.
It was
and
so fun, like just hyping people up. And
this is something I was going to say to you earlier. Is like, I just love how stoked you are on other people and other shit and positive stuff. Like, that's so cool of you. Like, the fact that you're this stoked about everybody else is why everybody else is so stoked on you. You know, like it's a beautiful attitude that you have, I think. And just talking to you for an hour, I'm like, oh yeah, this guy's the fucking shit, you know?
I think it's something I learned through BMX, you know, like what other, I mean, like with action sports, yes, but like outside of what we do, when other does like a grown man like comfortably tell his homie he's the shit, like
yeah,
you know, like I do it all the time, like
yeah.
fuck yeah, dude, you're the dude, you kill it. Like I'm so happy to tell my homies
Yes.
like how proud of them I am and like how I think they're cool as fuck.
I'm just picturing you bringing the BMX like banger stoke to your workplace. Just like,
oh, I do.
Sometimes
people are like, bro, you're intense. Like, bro, you're intense. I'm like, nah, these fools are about to go out and have fun. Like,
let's
I'm trying
go.
to hype them up. Yeah.
So good, dude. I think it's unique to video part. Riding and skating is the celebration in the street. This is so fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I found a way at work I see it as facilitating fun, like the same way I would for the homies, you know? And I think that's like, wouldn't mind, like, I know it's hard work, but like being a team manager or like having one of those positions in BMX where I could see that, you know, like, cause to me, it's not a struggle to get up and hype the people, like get everyone hyped and have a plan. Like when we're on road trips with Fiend trips, it's like Garrett has all these spots and I'm like right there with him, like, bro, we got this. Like I've seen this in videos. Like I'm just sitting there like,
yes.
And then, you know, and so it's cool to have bounce ideas back from him. He knows I'm hyped. Like,
are you the oldest one in the van?
Is Tony probably?
Tony's older.
Yeah. I think he's like 38, maybe. I was just
picturing that dynamic between like you and like the young bucks, you know, like Lou and
so
Johnny.
Like when we were in Salt Lake, it was me, Garrett, we were like the uncles, and it was Louis, Antonio, and Johnny. So it was like the three nephews, and then me and Garrett were like the uncles, and like that's just how it feels. And it's like, but it's the coolest group of motherfuckers to be with. Like those, I would choose them as my nephews 7 days out of the week.
That's
you know
amazing.
What I mean? Like, so. And then like the knowledge that they bring, it's like they're grown men now, and like it's super cool, you know.
It's weird when the young kids are grown men. It's like, oh shit, damn, I'm double old. Yeah.
And so like this, like I've talked about it with Garrett too. Like for me, seeing them, him and Dennis were a year younger than me, and seeing them come up, they were so young. Like there was that Fuel TV thing about them graduating high school and like being a new tour.
Yeah.
And like to me, I was riding at TJ Lavin's house at that time, like, fuck, dude, these guys, like, and I knew Dennis. So that was like my best friend when I was a kid, you know, and we had grown apart but like still homies. Like his grandpa's always lived in Vegas. So he'd always come out. We'd go ride like YMCA skate park and stuff together.
Right.
And like just seeing where he took it at such a young age. And now, like, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think there was like almost a gap of like we have like the young Suzuki, I think his name is, like he's super young.
Oh my God.
But like in between him and like the 25-year-olds, like I feel like there was kind of like who's the young 18-year-old right now that's up and coming, you know? Like there was Chad, there was all these dudes, you know, and then it kind of like turned into a grown man
common crew. Yeah.
And like
the common crew has grown up, so it's
they're even 25, 26 now, you know, like. And so and like Felix, like that.
I know they exist. Yeah, Felix is young.
Like Louis is 22, I think. Johnny, but even them, like they're older now. Like they're getting in their 20s and like they're established pros. Like,
they're adults. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to know because I want to watch them and appreciate the riding.
Right.
Like,
yeah. They're out there.
Yeah, I know they are.
And I'm gonna find them. That's
what I joke all the time. I tell people, I'm like, you don't get old until you like stop evolving. Like the second you say that your time was better than what's going on now, that's when you start getting old. Like
dude,
a good example is like Corey Martinez. Like he always has evolved his riding, his bike.
Yep.
So it doesn't seem like he's an old dude on the bike. Like you watch him and his riding is modern, his bike is modern.
Dude, he fucking influenced the modern riding and then became the modern riding.
And then became it. And and so like he's never been one of those dudes who got salty and was like, oh, my days were better. You know, like now he's always just appreciate the time he's in.
Back in my day, we used to just double peg a rail.
I hate when people are like, people were sending it back in the day way harder. I'm like, dude, Nathan is nollying with a hard 180 out. Like nollie overgrind to hard 180, the same rail that like Dave Young did a gap to rail on. Yeah, like stop trying to say
you were just 13 and it was impressionable, okay?
Yes, I get it. You know, like I
saw some clip of like an old X Games run, and it was Scotty, and all respect to Scotty, but like young, 16, 17-year-old Scotty riding X Games, and the shit he was doing was like at top of the game back then, but like you take a young park rider now and it just shits all over him. Like it's so crazy. Nuts, dude. Like
crazy.
Park riding is like on a whole nother level. You can't even imagine.
Like at a peak right now. I think it's doing like, that's crazy.
It's legit crazy, and they can do it like over and over and over again. It's all so dialed. Like they're practicing for these contests, and it's just like I was trying to explain to a layman, I'll call him, just a homie who doesn't ride, like the difference between park riders and video park riders, and it's like night and day. Like those dudes are way fucking up here,
which is
honestly.
Cool. Like video you look at it, it's like street riding, and what that aspect of riding is more like a lifestyle. It's like 100%. We live this, we just travel, we do this, whereas not in a bad way, but park riding is more of a sport. When you go, you put your pads on, your uniform, just like another sport. When you go play football, you don't wear your street clothes to play football. You put on a uniform. When you go ride parks, you put on your pads, your helmet, you gear up. When you're riding street, you just dress like that all the time. You just grab your bike and go ride and pedal. It's just it's a different, the mindset's different. You know, you're not, it's like it is a sport. It's a physical activity, and it does take, you have to be healthy and all the same things that a sport takes. But at the same time, it's a lot more involved. You know, the apparatus you're using or whatever you want to say, like the spots you're riding aren't even made for what you're doing. You're just finding some construction worker made, and you're like, bro, that I could link that to that. And you have to use your eyes, and like, you have to really think about things.
It's a whole different ballgame. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like I said,
you take a really dedicated only park rider out, and they're like, I don't know what to do.
And I'm not taking any credit from what those guys do, because what those guys do is completely crazy on a different level. Like they are fully dedicated to what they do. And I respect it. I respect talent. So like when you're asking what my hobbies are, like outside, like I watch MMA, I watch sports, like I watch anything that I can see somebody, like if I see a professional and they're somehow excelling far beyond the other professionals, like that's a special person, you know, like, and we should appreciate that talent. Like Garrett in a way, you know, he somehow has found a way, like all these dudes are also professionals and same capabilities, whatever. He just keeps that one level, you know, and it's like
steadily since fucking 2004.
What other sport besides like LeBron has that? Yeah, right. You know?
Yeah. We got,
and even LeBron has his downs, dude. Like that one in the championships every year.
For real, dude.
It's like
unbelievable, man. And so speaking of UFC, real quick, do you know what's going on with the fights tonight? Will you tell me about them?
Tonight is I know Charles Oliveira is fighting. He's I like him. He's 155. It's pretty much like, for me, that's the most exciting weight class to watch. That's like it's like got Justin Gaethje, and like Khabib was in that one, Conor McGregor, like a lot of dudes are at 155, so that one's really fun to watch. Like the top 5 are like killers, and they're all going after each other. So that one's fun to watch, because it's like each fight is like gonna be crazy. They're going for the win, so that's cool to watch. And like I said, I appreciate talent. So like anywhere I can see like something cool, like I'll take the time to watch it. And like, you know, I used to be more of a hater when I was younger, but like, who's got time?
We all were, dude. Young and salty, and just like, nah, that's lame. Fuck them. Yeah.
You know,
as I've gotten older, I'm like,
I wouldn't even put it past me, like in my younger 20s, to like call like the hot air balloon thing that Chris Kyle did, like corny back, you know? But now I'm like, dude, that's so tight.
It's so
like,
dope. Yeah.
Yes. And like me as a young 20 little shithead, I'd probably been like, what's he doing up there? Like, why are they wasting so much money?
It's still funny, dude.
Did you just put that skate park on the ground? You know, but now I'm like, dude, that is so cool that they took like, a whole marketing team and they sat down and like came up with an idea and
All
like
of
made
the
it happen, you know,
Yep.
and it's cool. Like I respect all of the aspects behind it now.
To hear the story of like they built it out of something and then they were like, oh no, it's too heavy. And then they built the entire thing out of carbon fiber. I was like, what? That's cool.
It's cool.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
And like, I bet you the guys who got to do that job, like were probably hyped. The guys who got to make the, you know, like I'm sure a normal job they do is boring and like,
it's a team of 50 people to make that shit happen.
Yeah. We're going to make this ramp and it's going to fucking fly on a hot air balloon. And they're like, cool. Like this is going to be a fun job. Like that's cool, you know, and it created these other, like now he's sitting at home with his family, like watching YouTube, like, dude, check this out. I made that.
You know? For real.
Yeah. So,
and that shit permeated like the culture. Like it wasn't just a BMX video, it was a Red Bull. Like that shit showed up on my dad's Facebook feed.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
And I think there's something powerful about that for the sport of BMX too. Like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. And then some kid saw it that Chris Kyle video will be some kids like 7-year-olds like origin story. The next Matt Closson is going to be.
And the way I see it is if one kid gets hyped and gets a bike, it was successful.
Yeah, 100%.
Like anything that I think of, like if a video or like somebody, even like the whole YouTube thing, I used to hate on the vlogs. Like, why are you guys wasting your time doing that? Like, it's so crazy. Like, but now I see it as of like, it brings people into the sport and it opens things up. It's good.
Look at you, like dude. You're a grown ass. You're turning 34 this year. You're
I know, and it's I'm like trying to see things for like life is really easy to be shitty. Like it is so easy to just get caught in the like mundane 9 to 5. Like my home life sucks. I don't take care of myself, and then like next thing you know, you're just like drinking or you go down a hill, and like I've seen it with friends. I've seen it with people, you know, a lot of people around me. And it's like that line of like, I feel like I grew up like one fucking paycheck away from being like poor, you know, like broke. So it was always like, and I never had a backup. Like, so it was always like, just handle shit, like, and get it done. And like, yeah, I don't know.
Dude, that's awesome. Like the fact that you grew up or like, you know, coming up without a backup, it says a lot about you. Like you fucking made it and you got a stable, like,
and I didn't do anything special, like, but I feel like if you would have told me I'd have this when I was a kid, I would have never thought that was possible. Like you're gonna have your own house and like you're gonna be doing good and like all these things. I'm like, nah, not me.
I'm just a little shit on a 7-year-old riding around a parking lot, dude. That's awesome.
And this may sound like kind of crazy, but you know, one of the things I try to tell the younger homies, I think it was 2019, I was turning 30. And I just had this spark at the beginning of the year. I was like, everything was going good. Like I was, you know, Fiend was going good. I was filming with them a bunch, like kind of just doing me. And I was like, I'll be 30 this year and I'm just going to put my all into BMX this year. And like, not really anything different what I was doing, but I was just going to show up as much as I could. Like whatever events are happening all year, I'm going. And I just paid for my own flights if I had to, talk to Fiend, like if they would help me. And I just made a plan of all year just showing up. You know what I mean? And that was and me and Reed all 2019, that was our show up, baby, show up. Like I was just saying that, you know, and like, and that was half the battle for me was just like, just go out there. And, you know, like they say, like right place at the right time or whatever. And I've found like, and it's super cliche or like whatever you want to say, but it's like the more places you put yourself, the better your percentage or your chances of it being the right time. Like, you know, if you're always in the same place, the chance that that's going to be the right place at the right time is going to be very low. But if you're always putting yourself in different places, the chance of it being the right time is going to be better. You know, you're giving yourself better chances. So like, just put yourself out there and show up. Like just the more, you know, and I just did that.
Where'd you learn that, dude? Did you learn that in college? Huh?
Fucking the streets, dude.
That came to you during your concussion? You're like, you know what? Just fucking show up, dude. I love that. That's you.
Yeah, just show up.
Show up, dude.
Show up. And that was like me and Reed. Just show up. And so then that led into like, I had a good ass year. Like I did all these things. And then the end of 2019 was the dawn of the streets and I fucking won. Like,
I wish
probably when I look back at the fucking the best day of riding I've ever had was probably that day.
Hell yeah.
Like I think I did like 6 tricks all day, something like that. But all of them that I did, like I would have been happy for that to be like the last trick on my part. Like, and I did all of those in one day.
Bangers.
Somehow I was able, like I look back at that day and I'm like, where was I? Like I was fucking on a different planet that
Yeah.
day. Like I was
On
just
one.
in the zone. Like
In the right
and I
place,
think
right time.
yeah, right place, right time, exactly.
Yeah.
And I could have sat my ass at home and watched everyone have a good ass time in New York, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get my ass out there. And then that ended up happening. Won 5Gs, like never won a BMX contest or anything like that ever, you know? And that was my shit. Like it was a street thing and like it was
Yeah.
cool. So that was a really cool
Were you, let me ask you something. Were you like trying to win it? Do you think when you were there? Because it's like it's a jam and it's known that there's a prize. It's
yeah,
like I'm gonna go in.
I mean, I like sending it. Like I like doing scary shit. My motivation behind the whole day was like, it was my first time in New York. I grew up watching animal videos and shit and like dreaming of riding New York. Like that was, and the first spot we get to is like that gap to rail in Brooklyn. That's like the gap to black rail that's super famous.
Famous as fuck.
Yeah. And I was
everybody
like,
from all over the
oh
world.
man, I'm like, I grew up watching this spot. And then I knew Jeff Martin did the gap to tires already.
He gap manied it.
Yeah, but I was like, I'm gonna gap to tires it. Like it's a jam. Like I didn't have anything else for the spot, dude. Like Brock's there doing gap over pegs hard 3, and you got Devin. Like it was a crazy ass day. Like the first spot that day, it just started going off, and like so then I did the gap to tires, and it worked really well. And I was like, holy fuck, I could maybe manual it. And it was kind of to the side. Yeah. It was kind of a weird side hop and stuff, which that's not really my approach at a manual. But I was like, if I just go fast enough, fucking
maybe everything will be all right.
Yeah, I just went off the end, and then something clicked. Like right then, I was like, all right, each spot we go to, I'm gonna try to give it something. Then like we went to the 7 block spot, and everyone was going off, and I'd fucking 3'd over that rail. And the first time I tried it, dude, my nose,
like my fucking close, dude.
I hit first try. I didn't know I was going to. Nose bonked, got like super scared, threw the bike, and just like tumbled at the bottom.
Yeah,
ran back up. A few more people went, and then I kind of told myself like, dude, when you 3 that, your nose is probably you're probably gonna nose bonk again. So be ready this time. And so I just 3'd, and I felt my front tire bonk it, and I just like picked my bars up to my chest, and I seen the rail go under me, and I was like, oh, I'm back in a normal 3 over a rail now. Like once I seen the rail go under me, and I felt like tucked, I just set the landing gear down and like rode out. Like
holy shit, dude!
And then I'm like, holy shit, my fucking
you're just like plan on nose bonking.
It was a half and half. I was gonna accept it if it happened, but I was also gonna be very happy if it didn't happen.
It's amazing, dude. It's all coming back to me. Every single clip I can see in my head now. Like,
and then I got like we went to like the Black Hubba spot, which is super famous.
Yep,
obviously.
Backlash.
And then I got the backlash down that.
That's
like
unreal.
Dude, oh, the whole day. Like those are all clips.
Keep them coming. Let's go. Tell me about the backlash.
I would dream of filming these clips, and like luckily I fucking and I manualed. There was like a 16 stair rail we went to, and I did the biggest rail manual I've ever done. First try, I just like Hobie tires it right in front of me, and everyone's screaming and cheering. I'm like, all right, here we go. Same. I guess that's I have this switch. I just flip this switch, and I'm like, I guess we're going now.
You're like not even in your body. You just push the button, and you're like, all right, and here we go. You know.
And I tell myself, and this is when I got hurt. Like when I just crashed in this recent one where I had to get knee surgeries. The last like few years of filming and riding, like I've been pretty confident with like, all right, this is the spot for this trick. Like, cause I know the shit I'm playing with fire. Like I get it. Like I know, and you play with fire, you get burned, right. You know? So it's like, be smart, make sure you're confident. The approach is right. Cause if this ain't the right one, I've learned from Garrett, like don't force it. You'll find the spot. Like the spot will come to you. You know what I mean? Just keep that trick dialed. And when you're ready for it, you'll find the right spot.
And on this day, all the spots came to you.
Yes. And then, you know, and like I've been really good about choosing my battles and like risk reward, you know, like this is the one, this spot's perfect for this, I'm going for it. But then that day that I fucking fucked my shit up, I was like maybe 80%, you know, but I'm like already have so much stacked. And I was like, I've been thinking about this trick for a long time. It's like a famous spot in San Diego. Yeah. And then I just tried to force it, and fucking it wasn't. And with what I do, like that type of riding, it's like you can't really try to force shit. You have to let it be, you know?
Yeah. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah. Man, try to force it.
I was so hyped on the Dawn on the Street story, and then you just brought it back to you fucking your knee up. What happened?
I know. Dawn on the Streets, though, was like one of the best times.
Was that the last trick, like, the manual? The manual that Hobie tires?
Yeah, but honestly, I think the backlash down the Black Hubba was probably, to me, just like use of spot, like, you know,
ain't nobody
famous
doing
spot.
That shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've
I
done
tried to
some
G-turn it the
wild
next year.
backlashes.
Yeah, I
Your
tried to
backlashes
G-turn
are
it the next
real.
year. Yeah, at the skate park.
Yeah, dude. You're
Yeah.
looking, dude. I guess we can't know, but maybe that's in the footage with Fiend.
No, I've been trying to find a spot for it, but it's so scary and such a weird one that it's like
That is a
I
weird one.
really don't know the right spot yet. Like I think it would have to be something like
Did
where
you do
you
it
come
coming out of
off.
a bank?
Yeah, I was out of a bank and like I alley-ooped into it.
Right.
So I would have to find something like a little tiny out rail where it's low to get onto, not very long. I also don't want to
Then
drop that's
medium
going to
size
kill
to
me
drop.
if
Yeah.
yeah. It's just something
Immediately,
that
what I'm thinking about is those trailers that go up. You know what I
yes,
mean?
that's
Yeah.
probably you're right. Something like that. Right up the ramp, alley-oop.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe one
We
day.
can put some foam down and it's nice and safe and you can land in foam.
Maybe
It's
one
fine.
day. That's my goal though. Like I want to be back to where I was because I was feeling super good on my bike, and like that's my goal with this whole thing is I just want to be back to where I was, and if not, then better. So
how do you do that? What's your plan? What's your vision?
like physical therapy, I'm at the point now. I'm almost 12 weeks out from my ACL surgery, and I'm like doing pretty good compared to what like they say with normal people. Which obviously any BMX is probably going to push it harder than the average person there.
Yeah.
But like I'm at the point now where I'm doing leg presses, like one-legged squats, stationary bike.
With the bad leg.
Yeah, yep.
Nice,
and
dude.
on the elliptical, no running on the treadmill yet, but I'm like, pretty much weight stuff now, balance stuff. Like I'm building the muscle back now. And
Sick.
so
Yeah.
and I'm at a good point. Like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's been a long fucking 6 months, but like I was super lucky for almost 20 years and never have any knee problems. And so like I kind of just fucking accepted it. Like it was, I don't want to say it's bound to happen because it's not, but it's like one of those things where I can't get too bummed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But dude, I can't even imagine. Like in the moment, you're like, fuck.
Oh yeah, you can see my face in the clip. Like I'm not even like it hurt. I'm in shock, but
like sad.
You can see like my face just knows like the next 6 months of my life like they're gonna be hell.
Oh,
like man. I just like just the depression. Like you can just see like just so bummed. Yeah, bummed. Just like dude.
Yay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that happened to you, man.
But hey, we're fucking.
You're a trooper.
It's crazy how humans are. Like from one day to the next. Like, yeah, I'm back walking, working, doing normal shit. Like,
for real.
I'm like a normal person at this point now.
Yes.
But I don't want to be normal.
Congrats.
I want to be back to riding.
Yeah. Back to being a fucking athlete and doing my park tricks.
That's what I'm gonna be first for sure. I'm gonna be ripping the concrete bowls. Yeah.
Dirt jumps, getting the flow back. Dirt jumps like elude me because they look so natural and easy, but it's not. But it doesn't feel like it's not like you're forcing it with a bunny hop.
My whole thing with trails was always if I follow somebody who knows what they're doing here and I know how to ride a bike, I go the same speed as them, I'm going to be all right.
It'll work out.
You know what I mean? Like the formula adds up, like A plus B, it's like he knows what he's doing. He does this all the time. Yeah. I know how to ride a bike. So as long as I do what he's doing, it should all just equate.
It should all work out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just pull back and you have that muscle memory from the racing days.
And then you hit it a few times, maybe over clear a couple, whatever. And then you're like, you start learning which ones you need to pull back on, which one you push through. And
I never had that. I grew up riding curbs and the flat ground in front of my parents' house. So me and transition do not get along, but like I've been working on hitting the Tempe Park hip and like getting above coping. Like
I was going to say, you going over coping?
Yeah, dude, I'm going over coping. Even at Glendale, I was like, hey, will you tell me if I'm over coping or not? And just tried to do a straight air out, like of a 6 or 7 foot quarter. And he was like, yeah, bro, you were like that high. And I was like, yes.
That's so crazy to me. Like BMX can be so different just from your upbringing.
It's amazing. Like what it is I remember hitting little baby dirt jumps when I was a kid, like right before basketball practice, and I fucked my arm up and my knee and I'm bleeding all over the place. And my dad got so mad at me and I was just like, okay, I'm never doing dirt jumps again. Because it was safer for me to ride manual.
We had these jumps that were by my middle school in San Diego, and we would hide shovels and we would leave for school early, go ride the dirt jumps, and then on the way home, go ride them again.
Hell
so like I would show up to school fucking bloody, dirty, like just
what
dug and crashed. Yeah, after a while, the teachers were just used to it. Like, oh, this kid's just a grimy little kid. Like, yeah,
he's a little rocket power kid, dude.
Yeah, and I had my little race bike, dude. I was riding this like super expensive race bike to school, and like I lived in kind of a shitty area of El Cajon. Like, Yeah, I didn't know any better, dude. I was just like, whatever.
How many bikes have you had stolen in your life?
Zero.
No
I've
shit.
never,
I thought it was
yes.
just like part of the process. Like I've had like
No,
four
you
or
know
five
what? I've
stolen, dude.
had I swear to this one, this was the race bike I was just talking about too. I was like 12. It was so nice, like a couple $1,000s for this bike. We were in a Hollywood video, if you remember those.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting some probably games or some shit for PlayStation. Who knows? But
Yep.
my friend had his bike on top of mine, and his was like a dyno, like a normal, just like a BMX bike,
I remember the
And
dinos.
mine was actually on top of his. And we were so dumb. We went into Hollywood video and left him outside. Didn't
They're
even lock
stacked.
him up.
Nobody can take them, obviously.
And then we come out and my bike is thrown to the side and they took his bike
Wow.
because it was probably a big dude and he's seen the little skinny ass tires and like the tiny little bike
Yo,
and he's
fuck
like,
this thing. Yeah,
yeah, and
that's
it weighed
funny.
like nothing. He just tossed that bitch to the side, grabbed my friend's bike and took off. And like little did the dude know that was like $200 for that bike maybe, and mine was like a couple grand,
Right.
So it
Yeah.
was like,
He's like, nah, I'm
yeah,
looking for transportation, homie.
I've had like friends like that kind of situation,
Yeah.
I've chased people down and got friends bikes back for them.
Hell yeah. Is
Shit
it
like
you that
that.
did that in Arizona or no? Somebody did that in Arizona
No, I
for
do remember that story though.
something,
Somebody
right?
chased somebody down, like
Yeah.
tackled the dude, got the bike back.
Yeah. What pops
Yeah.
into your head when you say that though? For your story of chasing somebody down.
At Desert Breeze Skate Park, when I moved to Vegas, that was known as like kind of like the hood park. Fights were always happening. Kids just hung out and sold drugs. Like,
Which one is Desert Breeze, by the way?
super tight. Sammy Baca skates it a lot. Has like a really tight snake run. It's like a really shitty concrete park. Has a little street section too. The
Is that
bowls are really tight. It has like these death rail things in the middle that are kind of famous. Josh Harrington and Rob Wise both did some really cool things on them.
okay?
It's
Yeah.
like got these two rails, and like Harrington went up and did like ice, over bar,
Yes.
like, and then Rob Wise. I was there for both of them randomly as a kid too. I got to see both of them get filmed. Fucking Rob Wise did all the way over ice, and then into
Rob
the
Wise is
hole.
a goddamn legend,
Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
yeah. Getting to see him ride was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Speaking, and
Go on.
like, man, BMX, like when you said legend, I just was thinking about watching Harrington and that trip when Harrington did that, he was filming with Miles and they stayed at my house during Interbike and then filmed. And it was like that part, Miles and Harrington like put out a part like right towards the end of Harrington's riding.
Yeah.
And that week or whatever was crazy because Ricky Bates and Gary stayed with me too. And
Fuck.
so it was like,
That
like
year too.
getting choked up, like thinking
Yeah.
about it. But like they were at my house with Miles and like we all just stayed and filmed. And like we got to go out with Harrington and watch him film. Like this dude murdered it, like filmed 4 crazy clips in one day with Miles. And like me and Ricky and Gary, DeMartine, the other one that passed away with him. We were all just sitting in amazement watching, and like getting that experience. And I barely knew those guys. And then like they ended up staying at my house for a few days and like we became super close. And then that's when they were going to Phoenix. They actually left my house to drive to Phoenix.
Dude. Yeah.
And so, and like I look back on a lot of these things and I think it shaped, like at the time I was so young and just like whatever, I didn't really let it affect me, But then as I got older, I'm like, damn, man, like those were 2 cool ass people that I said bye to, like didn't even know, like
right, yeah.
I just like, peace out guys, have a fun trip in Phoenix. And then,
everything
like,
is going to be all right. Yeah. Obviously.
yeah. And then I wake up in the middle of the night out of nowhere getting texts like, yo, where are they at? Like they're supposed to be at your house. Like now we're hearing all this shit. And I'm like, like,
fuck.
Yeah. And so I was young, and like I just kind of took it. And like soon after that, like now, like there's just a lot of shit that happened. And I just kind of like, when I look back on those times, I just kind of like fucking panicked and moved out of Vegas and just changed shit,
Yeah.
And when I look back, I'm like, why did I move? I don't even remember why. Like, and then I look back on a lot of things and I'm like, I think
that
mentally I just needed to change. So like and
shit.
like luckily, and this is what I brought it up, like I appreciate all these moments in BMX. Like I was able to meet them. We got to go watch one of our legends. Like that last week, like few days we had a filming and going out was like one of the best times ever. And like for what we do and like me getting to see them do their thing, getting to see Harrington do his thing with Miles, like being a part of that, like I was talking about earlier, no one outside of BMX gives a shit.
Right.
But for me, that meant like everything.
Right.
And those will be memories I'll have for my whole life, And luckily I was able to meet those 2 guys and they, in the short amount of time I spent with them, they left a big impression on me. And you know, and I know you talked to Colt, and like he's a big part of band too, and like that was a crazy thing, you know. I
So
think those
heavy,
guys
dude.
influenced a lot of us,
Yeah.
and you know that's
Band for life, dude. Fucking
yeah,
A, man.
honestly,
I didn't know that you were with them like right before. Like that's so
yeah.
crazy.
And we weren't close like that, but we were BMX are brothers instantly, you know.
Yeah, for real. What was it
And
like hanging out with them? What was Ricky like? And
dude, he
Jerry?
was awesome. Like he was just fucking passionate. Like he loved BMX, you could tell,
Hell
and
yeah.
just 100, like go go go. Like
Yeah.
it was cool to see, and like you could tell he was that like motivating factor of their crew. You know, like
100%.
he was
Yeah.
that dude,
That's
and
what's
I
up.
kind of take stuff from all these people, and like I try to be that guy. You know, like I try
Yeah.
to be the guy that gets everyone together. Like
We
be
can all
the
have a little Ricky in us, you know?
yeah, no, for sure, man, and like yeah, and like I said, fucking show up as much as you can, meet as many people as you can. Like these experiences you'll have from BMX mean just as much as any trick you'll learn, or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So pedaling through a city, or just like one time I got stuck at an airport in Minnesota. I was with my mom. We were going to see family and get stuck in Minnesota overnight. I like hit Twitter up or something like stuck in Minneapolis. Who's trying to kick it? Reed Stark comes and picks me up in like 20 minutes. My mom's like, "You have a friend here?" And you know, I'm
I
like,
love
"Yeah,
it.
my
Yeah.
buddy's coming to pick me up." And like he comes and picks me up, and like we had a cool night, and like just hung out, chilled, you know, like brought
That's
me to his brother's
BMX.
house, and
Kyle?
yep.
Love Kyle.
And it was just like one of those things of like without BMX that would have never happened.
Right?
Like
Yeah.
it took 20 minutes. I literally threw a tweet out there into the universe, and within 20 minutes I'm getting picked up by my boy, you
Make
know,
that
and it
noise
was
again.
like yeah, did that move.
It's
But
really
yeah,
magical. Like I tell that to people sometimes. I'm like, I think any state or like country, I could probably hit somebody up and like have a couch to stay on. Like that's
yeah, no
it's
questions asked.
BMX family. It's fucking rad.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I try to explain to people at work and like talk to them about, like kind of with a culture of what I do. And they're like, huh, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like, they're
Pretty
like, you're
neat.
not staying at a hotel when you go there? I'm like, nah, I'm staying at my boy's house. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like, oh, what do you guys do? You know, like, I'll pedal around the city, go to schools. Like,
We trespass and damage other people's
trespass,
properties and document it. It's really cool.
hop fences. Yeah, it's fucking fun. I never want to get over it. Like,
You want to come
seriously, I
hang out
have
with
this.
us? It's thrilling.
Yeah. Like I have the spark for sure. Like it
I
isn't
know.
going away anytime soon. That's for sure.
That's what's up. I'm glad
Yeah.
that this knee injury isn't taking you out, like you're mentally or spiritually or anything.
Trying my
Seems
best.
like you're
for
all
sure.
right. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure you've been through something with these.
Yeah, for sure. We all do. And
Yeah.
I look at
Sometimes.
things like, fuck, dude, it could, and it's, you know, whatever, but it could always be worse, you know, like
100%. Yeah.
there's a lot of people going through shit way worse than what I'm going through right now. And like every other aspect of my life is pretty good. So if I can just focus on getting better, then I have that, you know, and
Right.
there's a lot of people that don't have that. So,
Facts.
you know, I can just look at that. So, you know, I'll get down on myself, but that ain't going to help much. You know,
Yeah.
but I get it. Not for everyone. It's not like that. It's like a chemical thing and mental imbalance sometimes, or a chemical
yeah.
imbalance. I mean, so I get that, you know, whereas luckily most of the time can either do something scary to humble myself and calm myself down, or like put my focus into something beneficial. And then I don't feel so crazy after, you
Yeah.
know, because we all have those spikes of,
Yeah,
you
for
know,
real.
and
Oh shit. That's you sitting watching the film.
yes. And I think most people fucking take the easy route, you know, of alcohol or drugs, because it's like
yes.
it's
Quick
an easy way
dopamine
to
source.
yeah, for sure. And it
Yep.
doesn't take effort.
Right.
You don't have to fucking try 100 times. You can just fucking
There it is. Yeah. Fuck you. I want to do that. No.
and like it's yeah, I think all humans are just looking for something exciting in life, you know. And
Big
luckily BMX is something that keeps you fit, healthy, mentally, physically, brings cool people into your circle, teaches you a lot about life.
Yeah.
All things that when we're young and we pick a bike up, we don't ever expect, you know, like
For real.
and if you're looking for something out of it, that's probably when you won't find anything. But if you're just doing it and you're just like, you know, like this is what I like to do, I have fun with these cool people, I better myself through this, then you'll probably learn a lot of shit and you'll probably get some stuff out of it, you know?
Bars.
So, Yeah.
Fucking Uncle Closson coming through with the hammers. Let's end
Yeah,
on
man.
that.
I don't know.
What time did we start? That could be the end right there.
Yeah, fuck it. We talked about a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, we did. Anything else you want to say? We didn't even do any of my corny podcast questions.
Do you got some stuff?
I usually ask. Oh, one of the one I do want to ask you is like, who don't I know that I should know about? And then we follow them on Instagram.
I was probably gonna say Sammy Combs, but you probably know.
I do know Sammy Combs.
Yeah, that's my little rider right there. I met him when he was like 15 and kind of took him under my wing, even though he's like twice my size.
Papa Bison, baby.
Yeah, Papa Bison.
Yeah, he's sick with it. Oh, he's looking slimmer now, dude.
Oh yeah, yep.
Hell
Boy's taking care of himself.
Good
He's
job,
got a lot
Sammy.
of good shit going on. Yeah.
Go follow Papa Bison, everybody. That's dope.
Yep, that's so that'll be who I'll use him because that's my boy right there.
All right.
Been working on a little part with him. He's got some sponsors going and stuff now, so it's cool.
Who's he sponsored by?
He's got Volume.
Yeah, I remember when that happened.
Is sending him free stuff. Like
look at all these sponsors. He's got all the sponsors.
Yeah, see,
look at all those.
Yeah, I would say that's my little homie, but like I said, he's like
that's my little big homie, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my little homie, dude.
Yeah. So.
All right. But and shout out Fiend, shout out blah blah blah. Would you like to shout out your sponsors, Matt Closson, before we finish this professional pod?
I just want to tell them thank you for having my back through all this. Like, I know there's a lot of companies or people that wouldn't keep supporting me, and like both Premium and Fiend have been like nothing but supportive and like giving me like outlets of like, hey, do you want to help with this or like be more involved with this while you can't ride?
Sick.
You know, and like. So it's been cool. Like I definitely have, with all the shit that goes with it, money, fucking downtime, pain, all that, like having a cool support team around me has helped a lot.
That's what's up. I love it.
I mean, I can throw this out there too. I haven't made it public yet, but speaking of how cool my sponsors are, Fiend and Premium sent me like a whole bike, pretty much an exact replica of the bike I ride. And I'm going to do a raffle on my Instagram here like soon. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So somebody can pretty much win a brand new Fiend complete, like it's Ty-Mo frame, just like I ride, all the premium parts I ride,
Sick.
all the signature stuff from like Colin and Chad. And so they're cool. Like, you know, like 2 knee surgeries, even with insurance, is a little rough, you know, so them being down to help without me having to try to do like a GoFundMe or something. Like I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to just ask for something. So they kind of helped me with ideas of like, hey, we could do this, you know, and you could give something back. And I was like, well, shit, that's cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So out there soon on my Instagram, whenever I can. I got the bike, I built it. I just gotta do the logistics behind it, and I'll get that all out there. So
did you sign it? How are you gonna accept the money? GoFundMe?
I was just thinking Venmo, Cash App. I don't know. I was like, I got to figure all that out.
Fuck you, man. I'm gonna make you a GoFundMe. People will be down to help you out.
It'll be but yeah, I want to do this raffle because I think it'd be cool to have somebody win the bike, $10, maybe something. I don't know. Now you have a whole complete bike that's like the perfect bike. It's literally what I ride. It's like
I'm gonna enter 25 times.
It's like out the box, the perfect bike. Putting it together, I was actually like kind of jealous. I was like, man, I don't even really ask for all these parts at once. You know, like I never asked for a whole bike like that. Yeah. So I was putting it together like, damn, this thing is nice. Like I don't even know if I want to raffle it off. But seriously, shout out to BMX as a whole. Shout out to you for doing this, Bobby. Keep the shit going. Like Dig for supporting. Yeah. They've always Dig was first real magazine I was in. So shout out.
Fuck yeah.
That was cool. They gave me like a low profile thing back in like 2010. I had a 2-page spread.
Damn. So, back when we were 20.
So, yeah. Shout out to Dig, dude.
That's awesome.
Shout out to Dig. Yeah. But seriously, you know, Wes McGrath, my boy over there. Frank, you know, they're all homies. So BMX as a whole, dude, like very appreciative. I chose this as a path when I was 7 years old. Never thought it would continue to be something I was so involved in, you know, 15 years later.
Yeah.
So,
well, you're nothing but a beacon of light every time we've crossed paths, dude. You're the fucking best. You hype everybody up around you, and yeah, you're the shit. You deserve everything that you've gotten and more, you know?
Appreciate that, Bobby.
Thanks for coming.
Let's kick it soon for sure.
Yeah, for real. We'll figure out right after I stop recording when we're hanging out. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's not going to end right now, but for them it is. Bye, guys. And now you've reached the end of the video, and you're going to have a good day. Thanks. for listening, or watching.